are either going to start celebrating again in Pittsburgh very shortly, or all kinds of stuff is going to break loose here in Cincinnati in this ballpark and around town. A 1-2 pitch. There's a drive hit deep to right, way back, way back. It is a tie ball game. Big man's Foster at third. They had him there with 1 out. Now they're 2 down. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Into the dirt. Here comes the pennant-winning run. The win for the pennant. Cincinnati.
The action was equally heated in the American League playoff between Oakland and Detroit.
Campaneris has had quite a day. 3 hits, 3 times up. Stolen 2 bases, scored 2 runs. They're shorting up at the corners on him, and he is hit by a pitch ball. Look out!
That was game 2, and Campaneris was suspended for the remaining 3 contests as the playoff was extended to the 5-game limit. In Game 5, Oakland A's manager Dick Williams chose a daring piece of strategy for a key situation.
Love to get Green here so they can start off with Odom, and the next. The runners are going, and Freehand throws through. Here comes Jackson on the way home, and he is first to 10-1. And Jackson is hurt.
Reggie Jackson's steal of home tied the score and paved the way for an Oakland victory. But Jackson suffered a severe hamstring injury. Without their star slugger in the lineup, the A's winning run was knocked in by a 225-hitter, Gene Tennis, a name that would be heard again and again as the Oakland A's meet the Cincinnati Reds in the 1972 World Series. The 1972 World Series is brought to you by your local bottler of Coca-Cola in association with Major League Baseball. A record crowd of almost 53,000 jams into Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium for the World Series opener. World Series host Commissioner Bowie Kuhn welcomes Cincinnati Executive Vice President and General Manager Bob Howsam, Reds President Frank Dale, and National League President Chub Feeney. The most disappointed man in the stadium? No question about it. Reggie Jackson, sidelined for the entire World Series. Gary Nolan, 15-5 on the year, gets the opening game assignment on the mound for the National League champions. A's catcher Gene Tennis faces Nolan with 2 out and 1 on in the 2nd inning.
There's a long blast to deep left. That one is going, and it is gone. A home run for Gene Tennis. And the A's grab the lead in the top of the 2nd inning with a 2-out, 2-run homer by Gene Tennis, who hit only 5 homers during the year.
Gene Tennis, only 1 for 17 in the playoffs against Detroit, homers in his first World Series at bat to propel Oakland to a 2-0 lead. The last time Oakland starter Ken Holtzman pitched in Riverfront Stadium, he hurled a no-hitter for the Chicago Cubs, but singles by Bench and Perez plus a walk to Menke place him in a bases-loaded jam in the bottom of the 2nd. Dave Concepcion beats the attempt at an inning-ending double play, and Johnny Bench scores to cut the A's lead in half. Oakland has speed, personified by American League base-stealing king Campy Campaneris. But the Reds have the human shotgun in the National League's most valuable player, Johnny Bench. Oakland relies on his pitchers to minimize the Cincinnati running game. Here, Holtzman's slick pickoff move traps Bobby Tolan. The Reds knot the game at 2-all in the bottom of the fourth, and Gene Tennis comes up for his second series at bat in the top of the fifth.
There's a long drive deep down the left field line. That's going down. Gene Tennis has hit his second home run in this World Series game. He is not a home run hitter.
Tennis, with but 5 home runs all season, sets a series record with round trippers his first 2 times up, and the A's regain the lead.
He couldn't get ahead. I made he threw me a breaking ball, which he made a mistake, and I did it again. I was fortunate enough to hit a home run. The first home run was probably the biggest thrill. Of course, being here is probably my biggest thrill, I have to say that.
Holtzman nurses a 3-2 lead, with Johnny Bench leading off the bottom of the 6th. Manager Dick Williams wastes no time going to ace reliever Raleigh Fingers, and Fingers proves to be the right man at the right time. In the bottom of the 7th, Gene Tennis calls for a pitch out with Dave Concepcion running. Tennis's throw right on the money, and he explains the timely strategy.
I felt that we had 1 strike on Eulander at the time, and I just felt that, you know, they may be running, and I saw Concepcion get a little bigger lead than normal. So I took a gamble, and consequently, I called a pitch out, and I was able to throw the man out.
That's his story. Dave Concepcion claims that Campaneris never touched him. Umpire Mel Steiner signals that Concepcion was tagged on the helmet, but Concepcion disagrees.
The umpire make a mistake, you know. He say, take me in the head, man. I never feel nothing in my head, you know. And he say he take me in the head.
Let's take another look at this controversial play from ground level as Campaneris attempts to apply the tag. Okay, now, you call it. Pete Rose draws a walk, and the A's call on Vida Blue for relief. The 1971 Cy Young Award winner successfully smokes the Reds out to gain a save, and Oakland nails down Game 1 of the 1972 World Series. Another record-breaking crowd for Game 2 welcomes Jackie Robinson in pregame ceremonies.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. I would just like to say that I was really just a spoke in the wheel of the success that we had some 25 years ago. I would like to also say that I would be a real pleasure if Mr. Rickey could have been here with us today, but to the members of the family, my entire love and gratitude for the things that he's done over the years. And I also want to say how pleased I am that my family can be here this afternoon, and to thank baseball for the tremendous opportunities that it has presented to me, and also for this thrilling afternoon. I'm extremely proud and pleased to be here this afternoon, but must admit I'm going to be tremendously more pleased and more proud when I look at that third base coaching line one day and see a black face managing in baseball. Thank you very much.
Grimsley makes his way to the mound. The Reds with Grimsley and Bench. The infield, Perez at first, Morgan at second, Cheney at short, Menke at third. Rose will be in left, Bobby Tolan in center, and Cesar Geronimo in right. Ross Grimsley, he was mad about not starting the second game in the playoffs. He thought he was going to pitch last Sunday against Pittsburgh. It was either going to be Grimsley or Billingham, said Sparky Anderson before Game 1. Then Don Gullett lost Game 1. The Reds thought they would have an advantage by sending a left-hander against Pittsburgh, and they decided to go with Billingham, holding Grimsley off until Game 4. The lineup for the A's: Bert Campaneris will lead off at shortstop, Matty Alou in right field, hitting second, Joe Rudy, the left fielder, Mike Epstein in the cleanup spot at first, then Sal Bando at third, George Hendrick in center, hitting sixth, the catcher, yesterday's big hero, Gene Tennis, Dick Green at second, and the pitcher, Jim Catfish Hunter, 21-game winner this year and a 21-game winner in 1971. Ross Grimsley loosening up. Tony, you watched Grimsley throw the two-hitter against the Pirates in probably his best outing ever in Game 4.
He had good stuff that day, and the ball that Clemente hit for a home run was actually a fastball almost over Roberto's head. I was speaking with Larry Shepard, the pitching coach for Cincinnati, before the ball game, and he says that Grimsley probably has the best all-around stuff on the staff. His fastball is just a shade beneath Don Gullett's, and he has to establish his curveball early in the ball game, get it over the plate, and that will make his fastball more effective.
For the A's in the first inning, Bert Campaneris, then Alou and Rudy. Campaneris 2 for 3 yesterday. The A's had 4 hits. Campaneris with 2, Tennis with 2. And the first pitch is strike. Campaneris at 240 during the year. 8 home runs, 32 runs batted in. He'll be suspended the first week of the regular season, 1973, eligible in the World Series. 1-1.
He expected to be booed yesterday. He was. He hopes they die out. He says, I've apologized. I was wrong. I was sorry. Now I've just got to concentrate on playing baseball.
2-2 pitch, grounded to Morgan. Easy play for Joe, and there's one away. Up comes Alou yesterday, 0 for 3. Alou chops it past Grimsley, but Menke there to get it and throw him out. 2 down. Riverfront Stadium, an all AstroTurf surface. Philadelphia and San Francisco now with the same types of surface. You know, it's funny, when the park first opened, they thought it would be a hitter's park, but I think most everybody you talk to now, they consider it a pitcher's park. Joe Rudy, the batter, led the American League in hits this year. There's a base hit into left field, the first hit of the game. So Rudy is on, a 2-out single to left as Rose gets it back in, and Mike Epstein will be the batter. And the 3-2 pitch got him swinging. Epstein strikes out. A's gone in the first, no runs, a hit, 1 left, end of a half inning, no score. No score, bottom of the first. The Reds line up. Pete Rose will lead off in left. Then we'll see Joe Morgan at second. Bobby Tolan hitting third and center. The cleanup man, Johnny Bench, the catcher. Tony Perez at first base. Dennis Menke at third, hitting sixth. The right fielder, Cesar Geronimo. Darrell Cheney at shortstop. And Ross Grimsley. Pete Rose, 0 for 4 yesterday. Takes inside, ball 1. We're looking at one of the American League's premier pitchers today.
Very underrated nationally. A 20-game winner the last 2 years. He really battles you, Catfish Hunter.
Rose, it's a high pop-up to shallow left field. Campaneris going out. There's Rudy, and it's the left fielder Rudy for the catch. One away.
Hunter doesn't look overpowering from the stands or from your TV position, but he moves the ball up and down, in and out, different speeds, around the plate. And when he gets 2 strikes on you, he doesn't mess around either. There's his record this year, and it's an excellent record. He pitched 2 games against the Tigers in the playoff, allowed only 1 run in each game, was not involved in a win or a loss.
21-7, best winning percentage in the American League. Morgan, the batter, takes the ball 1-0. 1-1 the count. Sal Bando in shallow. Morgan a good bunter. 1-2. Down goes Morgan as Hunter gets his first strikeout. 2 down in the first inning. Bobby Tolan coming up. One-two to Tolan, and down he goes. On a check swing, Tolan strikes out. Honachek checking with the third base umpire. Engelusetti comes around, and Tolan strikes out. So Hunter gets 2 strikeouts, sets the Reds down 1-2-3 in the first, and at the end of 1, A's nothing, Reds nothing. There are the A's coaches. Irv Noren, the third base coach, second year as a coach in the majors with Oakland. At first base, Jerry Adair, former American League infielder. Adair in his first year as a coach. No score. Second inning, game 2 of the 1972 World Series. Oakland winning yesterday 3-2. And the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. This is Sal Bando with Hendrick and Tennis to follow. Bando drives it to center, and it's in for a base hit. Bobby Tolan gets it back in, and so the A's have their second hit. Sal Bando at first base with nobody out. George Hendrick, the batter. Boy, they talk in glowing terms about his future.
Well, they wonder, you know, you look at his average there, 182, but he's been up and down the minors to the A's and back again. He's never had a chance to really settle down and play somewhere for a period of time. But there isn't a club in baseball, I think, that wouldn't take him. He has all the physical tools.
It's a grounder off the glove of Grimsley to Morgan. To Cheney, one and not in time. Grimsley able to slow it down and perhaps costing the Reds the double play. Had the ball gone straight through to Morgan, the Reds might have gotten 2. So they get a force, and we'll watch it again.
Hendricks has fine speed. The ball deflected by Grimsley, making Morgan have to go back. Bando really went in hard to second base.
Here goes Bando. He's built like a fullback. Going out of the way to get him, which really is illegal. But you see it all the time around second.
Here's Tennis, so it's a fly ball to shallow left. Cheney out, Rose with Tolan coming on. It's Rose for the catch. 2 down. Hendrick on the force play at first, scored 1-4-6. Grimsley to Morgan to Cheney. Tennis gone for the second out. Here's Dick Green. Spent much of the season on the disabled list. Back operation. Hit 286 with 3 runs batted in. 0 for 2 yesterday. Hendrick at first, 2 down. A foul tip, 0-1.
You know, Al, late in the year, the A's would pinch hit in this situation. They'd pinch hit the first time the second baseman starting the game would come up. They'd put a man in the field, and Williams would bring another pinch hitter up for the next time the second baseman would come up. He'd have 4 pinch hitters using 4 different second basemen. They didn't do it against Detroit, and yesterday only made a late replacement for second baseman Green.
Strike 1 pitch is a base hit through the middle. Hendrick will take a short turn at second and hold on as Tolan gets it back in. So the A's with 3 hits, runners at first and second, and Catfish Hunter coming up. Catfish Hunter, one of the best hitting pitchers in the majors. He's hit safely in 10 of his last 12 games, hit .219 this year. Foul tip into Bench's glove, 0-1.
Al, he received $50,000 to play for the A's this year, $45,000 to pitch, and $5,000 paid by his owner Finley as a hitter.
He has 11 hits in his last 31 times up. That's .355. Base hit into left field. Hendrick around third. The throw by Rose, and he's safe at home. Bench able to pick it up to hold Green at second, and the A's take a 1-0 lead. So Catfish Hunter, 11 out of 13 now.
Pete made a good throw. Hendrick made a very sharp turn at third base, which made the play for the A's and for himself.
You can see why they like Hendrick, because he can run, he can throw, he can do a lot of things. And his speed, a slower man, might have been out at home plate. But Hendrick scores from second on the ball sharply hit to Rose in left field, who had a good throw to the plate.
Red starter Ross Grimsley faces his counterpart, Catfish Hunter, in the second inning. Pete Rose unleashes a strong throw, but the speed of George Hendrick accounts for the first run of the day.
Two on with 2 out. Line drive, base hit to left field. Green around third and coming in, the throw, and they nail him. Pete Rose to Johnny Bench to cut down the run at home. Single for Campaneris, and Green cut down 7-2. We'll watch it again.
Difference on the play was that Green made the wide turn. Pete making an excellent throw. Look at Bench go after Green, really trying to block him out.
Here it is again. Bench up the line about 6 feet in front of the plate, has him completely blocked out and makes the tag. But 4 hits that inning for the A's.
1 run, 4 hits, 2 left, end of an inning and a half. Oakland 1, Cincinnati nothing.
Campaneris follows with a carbon copy, and Rose's arm is put to test again. Same play, different result. Dick Green loses the race, and Johnny Bench applies the tag. On the replay, Rose cuts it loose on the fly to home plate. Dick Green is out by 10 feet, and Oakland has only 1 run to show for 5 singles in the first 2 innings.
1-0 A's. Johnny Bench leading off again. Bottom of the second. He led off 4 times yesterday. 5th time in a row in the series. A strike, 0-1. That's what Sparky Anderson was telling you before the game, Tony. The first 3 men have to get on. They didn't, and again, Bench leads off. Another strike.
Let's talk about Green for a minute. Remember, he's running after spinal surgery. He had a spinal operation in the spring, and he said he's about 85% of what he used to be, bending and running.
Ground ball up the middle. Campaneris, tough play, not in time. First hit for the Reds, and Johnny Bench beats out a roller through the middle.
With Bench at bat, you've got almost 7 outfielders. They're playing very deep, and Campaneris playing the pull, has to range far to his left. Johnny got a good jump out of the batter's box.
Perez will be the batter as Bench gets his 3rd hit in 2 games. 4th time he's been on base. Perez had 2 hits yesterday. Tony hit .283 this year. 21 home runs, 90 runs batted in. Fouled back. Inside, 1-1. Popped in the air and foul ground, left side. It'll be back in the seats. Inside to Perez, and the count is even. 2-2. Full count to Perez. 3-2. This time he goes, and it's ball 4. So Bench now at second. Perez at first. Menke the batter. Dick Williams in the A's dugout. Dennis Menke, 0 for 3 yesterday. Hit .233. 9 home runs, 50 runs batted in, at 20 runs batted in 1 month, August. Pickoff play is on, and they throw the ball into center field. Bench will go to 3rd, Perez to 2nd. The A's had Campaneris breaking to cover 3rd, Green breaking to cover 2nd on the pickoff play, and the break goes to the Reds.
It was a decoy play by Campaneris. He thought that if Bench saw him leaving very soon for 3rd base, that Bench would take a bigger lead and Green could sneak in behind him. But Green was a little late coming over to cover the bag, and the ball got by him.
Hunter gets a throwing error. The Reds now have Bench at 3rd, Perez at 2nd. 0-1 the count on Menke. Popped in the air and foul ground right side. Epstein is giving chase. Won't have a play. 0-2. Got him swinging for the first out. That's 3 strikeouts for Catfish Hunter. They'll pitch to Geronimo, a .275 hitter during the year. Swung on and missed, 0-1. Swung on and missed, and Geronimo becomes strikeout victim number 4. So Hunter struck out Morgan and Tolan in the first, Menke and Geronimo in the second. 2 down. Runners still at 2nd and 3rd, and Cheney the batter. And they're going to walk Cheney. So they'll take their chances with Grimsley, and we talked about it yesterday. As far as the Reds are concerned, the worst thing that could happen, Grimsley goes out, and you start the next inning with the top of the order. The Reds like to start an inning with Pete Rose. And down he goes as Hunter strikes out the side. So the Reds threaten, nothing doing, no runs, a hit, 1 error, 3 left. End of 2, 1-0 Oakland.
But the A's 21-game winner is tough in the clutch as he fans Dennis Menke. Cesar Geronimo and Ross Grimsley to escape the perils of the Big Red Machine.
Third inning, Game 2, 1972 World Series, 1-0 Oakland. The A's with a run in the second on 4 hits. Part of the Oakland contingent. They've got some fans here.
Now, we're going to give some pro football scores along the way, but here's one note that could really change the setup right now, especially in the American Football Conference. The preliminary report, Bob Greasy, the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, has dislocated his right ankle early in their game against the San Diego Chargers.
Punch to Menke at third. And he gets him. 1 away. Next week, anchorman John Chancellor reports all the world and national events, and David Brinkley's Journal provides lively commentary on the NBC Nightly News, right here on NBC. Joe Rudy snapped an 0 for 13 streak in the first inning with a single. The A's top hitter during their regular season had a good chance at the batting championship until late in the year. Drive to deep left field. Pete Rose just looking up, and he's hit it out. Joe Rudy, a home run. He hit 19 during the regular season, and Oakland leads 2-0.
Joe Rudy getting hot now. He is the best all-around batter on the A's, the most complete hitter, can drive the ball to all fields with power. And he pulls this inside pitch and hits this one high and deep, well back in left field.
And there it goes. And Joe Rudy's blast stretches the A's lead to 2-0.
He'd been pitching me away, mostly fastballs the whole time, and I had a feeling he might try to come in and jam me with a fastball. A lot of left-handers try to jam me with 2 strikes on you, and you got the ball up and a little bit more over the plate, and I think he wanted it, and it was one of those pitches where I just got the meat part of the bat on it.
Joe Rudy hits the third A's home run in the World Series. Epstein grounds it on 2 hops to Perez at first for the unassisted out, 2 down. Bando will be the batter, and the Reds again with activity in the bullpen. Right-hander Pedro Borbon, who is up in the second inning, throwing again. Sal Bando singled in the second inning. The A's have 6 hits. 0-1 is grounded to short. Cheney with it and throws him out to retire the side. In the third inning, the A's get a run on 1 hit. The home run by Rudy. Nobody left on. At the end of 2 1/2, Oakland 2, Cincinnati nothing.
World Series game.
Pete Rose lines it into center field for a base hit. That's the first hit in the World Series for Rose, who had 9 during the championship series to set a playoff record. Second hit off Hunter. And the batter Morgan.
Al, it'll be interesting to see after the long inning that Catfish Hunter had the last inning, how it affects his stamina. Ordinarily, he throws 85, 90 pitches a ball game. He threw an awful lot of pitches the last inning.
Joe Morgan struck out in the first inning. 0 for 3 yesterday. Still bothered with a sore heel. Pops it in the air in foul ground. Tennis coming back and has a play. 1 away. Bobby Tolan coming up. Tolan pops it up. Campaneris is calling. And there's 2 down. So Rose still at first base after a leadoff single, and with 2 down, here comes Bench, who's been the hottest Red in the series. At the end of the playoffs, of course, with a dramatic home run. Led the league in runs batted in this year. There are his folks, Katie and Ted Bench, now living in Cincinnati from Binger, Oklahoma. Outside, ball 1. National League's MVP in 1970. Could win it again this year. Put in the air to deep center field, but plenty of room. Hendrick there, and the side retired. So Rose leads off with a single. He stranded at first. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of 3 full, A's 2, Reds nothing. Fourth inning, A's on top 2-0. George Hendrick hit into a force play in the second inning. 0 for 3 in the 2 games. Takes a strike. Interesting, he went to Fremont High School in Los Angeles. Hendrick playing center field for the A's, and the center fielder for the Reds, Bobby Tolan, went to the same school. Chopped slowly to Grimsley. In time. One away. Gene Tennis coming up. The Reds bullpen has been active almost the entire game, and again now, right-hander Wayne Simpson on your left, Pedro Borbon on the right. Borbon up for the 3rd time of the game. Grounds it to Cheney. And the throw to Perez gets him 2 down. There's Reggie Jackson. Yesterday he had a crutch, and today he's using a bat in the Oakland dugout.
But he has a cast on the back of his leg from the middle of the thigh to the middle of his calf to immobilize the hamstring portion where he pulled the hamstring muscle. He's out of the World Series all the way.
Dick Green singled in the second inning. Fly ball to right field. Cesar Geronimo drifting over. And an easy inning. It's the first time Oakland's gone out 1-2-3. At the end of 3.5, it remains A's 2, Reds nothing.
Due to time constraints, we'll take you to the top of the 7th inning.
7th inning. Kurt Gowdy, Al Michaels, Tony Kubek with you for NBC. Reggie Jackson looking up at the scoreboard of the largest attendance crowd just posted. Foul back. They really do an excellent job here in Cincinnati on their electronic scoreboard. Right to the second with everything. And as we sat here, Tony and I, in the rain the other day, waiting for the Pittsburgh-Cincinnati playoff game, the 5th game to start, they were only a couple of 3, 5, 10 seconds behind what was happening in Detroit. There's a fly ball to right field. Geronimo with a one-handed grab, 1 down. Played that one rather casually. Gene Tennis flied to left, grounded to short.
The one thing we haven't yet seen in this series, Kurt, Geronimo's arm. Sparky Anderson contends best arm in baseball.
A strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 delivery. Foul back. 1-2. He went after a bad pitch. Borbon strikes him out. 3rd strikeout for Borbon in an inning and 2/3. So since Rudy hit the home run in the 3rd with 1 out, the A's have failed to come up with a base hit. They've had only 1 base runner. That was Epstein, who walked. That's a strike to Dick Green. 0-2. Borbon looks sharp. What an inning for Borbon. 4 strikeouts for him in 2 innings of relief. 3 up, 3 down for the A's. The last of the 7th inning in Cincinnati. Oakland 2, Cincinnati nothing. In the last of the 7th inning, Oakland ahead 2-0. Darrell Cheney is going to start it off for Cincinnati. Joe Haig is on deck to bat for Borbon. It's a strike to Cheney. He's walked intentionally and flied out. He's had to work hard. But as his pattern, he's tough when it counts. He's a real battler. There's a pop-up, fly ball in the shallow left. Coming on for it is Joe Rudy. 1 down in the last of the 7th. A very quiet crowd right now in Cincinnati. Joe Haig batting for Borbon, and Tom Hall, the swift left-hander, will come on to pitch in the 8th inning. 2-2 pitch. That's flied out in the right field. Had him off stride on a breaking pitch. Matty Alou puts it away. 2 down. Rose has flied to left, single to center, flied to right. There's a strike. You know, this series could result in a few road victories. Both Oakland and Cincinnati led their leagues in victories on the road. Strike 2. Maybe the home park won't make much difference. Struck him out on a fastball. And Jim Hunter puts him down. 1, 2, 3. We've gone 7 innings. The score, Oakland 2, Cincinnati nothing. Baseball's honored guest today, Jackie Robinson, his wife, his son and daughter behind him, and the Commissioner Bowie Kuhn on your right. Jim Hunter will start it off in the 8th inning. He singled in a run in the 2nd. He's grounded out. He'll be followed by Campaneris and Matty Lou. Tom Hall now pitching. A strike. Tom Hall won 10 and lost 1 this year. Look at that record. Earned run average of 2.61. He struck out 134 batters in 124 innings. Popped up. Perez, the first baseman, waiting. 1 down in the 8th inning. The A's did their scoring early, getting a run in the 2nd. Joe Rudy hit a homer in the 3rd. There's been no score since. Campaneris coming up. Grounded out, single to left, flied out. Two-two pitch to Campaneris. Drills it out into right center. Bobby Tolan for it. Hauls it in. They're 2 down. The Reds have had superb relief pitching from Bourbon, from Hall. Two away for Oakland, 8th inning. Nobody on. They're leading 2-0. He lines it to right field. That's the first hit for the A's since the 3rd inning. They're 7th in the game. And the batter now, Joe Rudy, who singled, hit a home run to left in the 3rd, struck out. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Rudy. There goes a Lou, big jump. The throw, and he's in there. He stole on the pitcher, not on Johnny Bench. Tremendous jump.
Alou had made his initial move even before Hall made his motion to the plate. Bench really hurried his throw, but no chance. Base was stolen on Hall.
Bench could have made the most perfect throw in history and never gotten him, and I'm surprised that Hall didn't go to first base. He had a chance to pick him off.
That's the A's first stolen base in 4 attempts. Alou now with his back to you at second base, 2 down. And a 2-2 count to Joe Rudy. Ball 3 to Rudy. He didn't give him anything too good with Hegan coming up behind Rudy. Hegan, a left-handed batter. Runners on first and second, 2 outs in the 8th inning. The Oakland A's leading 2-0. This will be Hegan's first time up.
Cincinnati infield should have one thing in mind at this point. With 2 down, force out at any base. Play deep, try and knock the ball down.
Strike to him. Strike 2. Struck him out on 3 pitches. No runs for Oakland. 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. Last of the 8th inning coming up. Oakland 2, Cincinnati nothing. The Oakland A's fans, their team leading 2-0 last of the 8th inning. Kurt Gowdy with Al Michaels and Tony Kubek. Now Joe Rudy is playing the sun field. The sun hanging right on the rim of the stadium. Fly balls he'll have to look up in at. A curve to Joe Morgan for strike 1, who bluffed the bunt. Morgan has struck out, fouled out, reached in an error. Bando really playing him tight at 3rd. The Reds scoreless in their last 12 innings in the World Series. He hits a fly out in the left field. Rudy with those sunglasses down, looking up, has it. Boy, he flipped those glasses down right away when the ball left the bat.
Kurt, high fly balls are not bothersome at this point in left field. Rennie Stennett had those semi-line drives, those little looping balls that are really a problem out there at this time.
Bobby Tolan hitless today. Fly ball to right field. There's a Lou. 2 down.
Once again, just missing. Good swing by Tolan, but on the fist. He may have shattered his bat.
Johnny Bench. Single, flied out, walk. He and Perez have been the only Reds reaching base in these two games. America's most famous sports artist, Leroy Neiman, is here doing portrait studies of Bench. There's a drive hit in the deep right center. Alou will have room, though. Grabs it on a warning track. Hunter kept Bench from pulling the ball. 3 up, 3 down. We're going to the 9th inning. Oakland 2, Cincinnati nothing.
Due to time constraints, we'll jump ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning.
Catfish Hunter carries his shutout into the 9th inning. And the A's defensive platoon, including Mike Hegan at first, is on the field.
The Red fans coming alive, trying to get a rally going here. The 2-2 pitch. There's a line shot over the head of Campaneris. Looked like Campaneris might catch that ball. It got to his left. Perez is on base for the 3rd time.
It did. We'll watch him again. It looked like he timed his jump perfectly. He had time. And just off to his left and out into left center field. So a base hit for Perez, who has 2 today and 4 in the series.
That's the first Cincinnati hit since Eulander's pinch hit double in the 5th. Sparky Anderson roaming that Cincinnati dugout. He has Dennis Menke up now. Menke's hitless in 3 times. There's a long drive to deep left. That ball going, and it is caught by Rudy! Joe Rudy rubs it with extra bases against the wall, and they nearly double up Perez at first. What a grab by Joe Rudy!
That's the play of the series as Rudy goes back. Not only does he have a tough play, he's got to fight the sun. He goes up and makes the catch up against the fence and nearly starts a double play. Looked like he almost pressed the ball against the wall, but he had it in the webbing of his glove, got it back in, and Perez had to dart back to first base to avoid the double play.
Tony Perez's leadoff single pumps life into Cincinnati hearts, with Dennis Menke coming up next. He tags that one. And Joe Rudy makes an unbelievable catch, and Perez has to hustle back to first. And now a second look at the catch that ranks among the most spectacular in World Series history. Rudy leaps and makes the grab backhanded while bracing himself against the wall. On the way down, his glove turns. You can see the ball showing through the back of the webbing. An absolutely fantastic play that they'll be talking about for years to come. Now here's another look at that play with Joe Rudy himself explaining.
When I first went to the outfield, Joe DiMaggio was a coach with us, and he worked with me every day during spring training on learning how to turn your back to the ball when it's hit, going to the wall, and turning back into the ball. It's a little tough because you have to take a step to your left and come back into the ball, and it just takes lots of practice, and I think he was one of the greats at this, and he taught me most of it.
Cesar Geronimo, a left-hander's up now. He has struck out, grounded out, flied out. Perez is still on first. Pete Rose, anxious. Very anxious. 1 strike. And a great stop by Hegan. Out at first. Hegan has robbed Geronimo of extra bases into the right field corner.
And it looked at first as if he caught a line drive, but down it went. Fair ball, he dropped it out of his glove. Had he held on, he could have had an easy unassisted double play to end the game, as it was a spectacular play, just to knock it down, pick it up, get the out at first base.
Mike Hegan had that ball, but his impact when he hit the ground jarred it loose, or this ball game would have been over. Menke and Geronimo have both been robbed of extra bases on sensational plays by the A's, Rudy and Hegan. And Hal McRae now is going to bat for Cheney. Sal Bando before the game said, you know, I'm sure the Reds have underrated us. They look at us with disdain. But he says, we have a great pitching staff, and we have played good defensive baseball all year long. We can win close games. Maybe we're not a great hitting ball club, but he said we can make plays when it counts, and how right he was here in this 9th inning. Al McRae had 4 pinch hit homers this past year and had a pinch hit single yesterday. And he hits a ground ball. It's going to go through. Here's Perez coming in to score, and it is now 2-1 as the Reds have the tying run on base. And Julio Javier is going to bat for Tom Hall. That's the first Reds run in this series on a base hit. Well, Hunter, they're going to have a runner. Concepcion is running at first base for McRae. Well, McRae can really come out of that dugout and swing the bat for you. If we go to extra innings, Concepcion would play shortstop.
Sparky Anderson out of left-handed pinch hitters at this point. Dick Williams checking the card in the A's dugout. Eulander and Haig have already been expended. He's used McRae, so he has to come in with a right hand batting Javier.
The Reds fans on their feet now. Every man has hit the ball hard off Hunter here in the last of the ninth. Perez single. Minke clubbed it to deep left. Rudy off the wall with a staff. Geronimo hit a wicked line drive at Hegan's staff. Here comes Dick Williams on again. And now McRae is single. Raleigh Fingers is in the bullpen, a right-hander. He pitched yesterday, so did Blue. And he wants Fingers to come in and pitch to this right-handed pinch hitter. We're going to have a break in the action right now at Cincinnati to score in the last of the ninth inning. Oakland 2 and Cincinnati 1. Two down. Tying run at first. Last of the ninth. 2-1 Oakland. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You've all seen pictures of the old Cincinnati Red Stockings, baseball's first professional team, with their handlebar mustaches. Raleigh Fingers looked like he belonged in that era. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner going. They pop. Mike Hegan waiting. And Oakland has done it again. They have beaten Cincinnati twice in a row in Cincinnati's ballpark, and that's Cincinnati's 7th consecutive serious loss at home. Their last home victory in World Series was in 1940 against the Tigers. So Fingers saves it for Jim Hunter, and the excellent pitching of the A's prevails again, backed up by 2 sensational plays in the ninth by Joe Rudy at left and Mike Hegan at first. And no team has ever in World Series history won the first 2 games on the road and lost the World Series.
Joe Rudy's with me to my far left, and Catfish Hunter, the winning pitcher. First of all, Catfish, let me ask you this. What did you think when that ball went out to your boy in left field?
I thought the game was tied up, but when he run back like that, I knew he had a chance. And when he jumped up there, I thought he missed the ball. But it come out in the Weber's glove, and it made me happy when I see that.
Joe, I don't know if that's the greatest catch you ever made, but I know it's got to be the most important.
When I fired to him, I didn't think I had a chance for the ball when it was hit. I thought it was gone, and I turned the wrong way and came back into the ball, and I just made a mad stab for it because I sort of lost a little bit of it in the sun when I first turned, and then I picked it up again.
Did you have some trouble with your glasses? For a while, I looked on a replay like you may have trapped the ball against the wall, but it didn't touch it, did it?
No, I didn't trap it at all. When I first turned, I tried to flip my glasses down, and they didn't pop down all the way, and they were only about 3/4 the way down. So while I was going back to the wall, I had to hit them again. Then I turned back in the ball. I had a little trouble picking up out of the sun.
Jim, you got another big play from your first baseman, defensive-wise, Mike Hegan.
That's right, and Mike, I think, is one of the best defensive first basemen in the league. When he comes in, he makes all the plays for us. I have never seen him make a mistake.
You know, I've never seen a youngster, I guess Whitey Ford and maybe Ralph Terry in our Yankee ball clubs, who came up as young pitchers and were pitchers and not just throwers. How did you learn to spot the ball the way you do and the change speeds like you do?
Well, in high school, I had real good control. I could spot the ball, and when I came up here, they taught me how to change speeds and throw a little better curveball. And I think Bill Posdell, our pitching coach, which is going to retire this year, I think he helped me the most.
Joe, you were really underdogged when you came into this thing and playing in the visitors' ballpark, and I think maybe that they had a little bit too much confidence. I don't know. It's up to them. They said some things, but now you're going back home with a 2-game edge. That's quite an advantage.
Well, you can't really ever have an advantage against a team like the Reds because they got everything. They got good pitching and great hitting, and the series isn't over until the last out's made, and I don't think any of us are going to take it for granted.
Jim, pitching so much of especially World Series play, and I think you guys have maybe a better pitching staff than theirs. Your bullpens are both good, but they've got some arm problems in their team, you know, with Nolan and so forth, and hepatitis with Gullett and so forth. But pitching seems to be the big thing so far, doesn't it?
That's right. Ever since All-Star break, I think we've won every game 2-1, 3-2. We never scored too many runs, and our pitchers, I think, took us this far. But, you know, we still got to have a couple of runs to win. And our hitters come through at the right time. We didn't get many hits, but it was just at the right moment.
I'm going to ask you both about scouting reports and so forth. And, Joe, I don't know, is this team, Cincinnati, pitching you about the same way that American League clubs pitch you?
Yeah, they move the ball in and out. I mean, it's about the same as everybody pitches me. The scouting reports, as far as I'm concerned, haven't been really correct as far as what they pitched to me, as far as sinker ballers and how hard they throw and stuff like that, but they've been pretty accurate.
Your pitchers have managed to keep off those first 3 hitters. They say that's the important thing. You did it again today.
Yeah, we had a scouting report on them. We're trying to throw like our scouts told us, and I think maybe the first 3 hitters not looking as, you know, they don't think our pitchers are that good, and we're just showing them that we're a little better than what they expect. I think today they didn't think I had that good a fastball, and once in a while I throw it by them. And when that happens, you know, you've got a good chance to win.
Joe, we're going to replay that great catch, what could have been a game-saving catch for Catfish Hunter. We'll let you describe it.
Well, the ball was hit straight over my head, and I turned to my left because that's the way I stand. And I just went back straight to the wall and turned back into where the fly of the ball, where I think it's going to be coming down. And I looked up, and I was right at the wall, and so was the ball. And I just jumped up for it, and it got in my glove.
You almost turned it into a double play, too. Who was your relay man in that?
I really don't know. I just threw the ball back at the infield. I didn't know where, you know, who was out there, but I think Campy must have been.
Jim, you were mentioning before about your fastball. You got off some tough situations, especially in the 2nd inning, I believe, when you had men on base and then men on 2nd and 3rd again in the 5th. It seemed like when you were in trouble, you were going more with your fastball today, were you?
That's right, because I know where that's going most of the time. I can spot it. And, you know, when you throw a breaking ball, a lot of times it don't break as much as you want, and you can hang it, and they can hit it out of the ballpark more easily than their fastball.
Jim Hunter, Joe Rudy, thank you so much. Congratulations. We'll see you in Oakland.
Thank you, Tony.
Now the Reds trail by a single run. Raleigh Fingers takes over the controls. And the A's hold on and head for Oakland with a 2-game lead, while the Reds realize that no team has ever dropped the first 2 at home and recovered to win. Heavy rains drenched the Bay Area for a solid week, and all the hopes and wishes of American League President Joe Cronin and Commissioner Bowie Kuhn could not deter the weatherman from reaching up his trick sleeve for one more storm at game time. In marked contrast to the previous night, blue skies were present on Wednesday. Helicopters helped to dry out the field, and the ground rules were reviewed in depth.
If the ball is on the field, it's in play. If it goes in, it's dead. I said it must go in the dugout. Hits in there, it's dead. The outfield, the fences beyond, must go out of the ballpark. If it hits the front of this, it's in play, but if it hits in here, it's dead. You didn't have a ground crew here before. Well, who's occupying that dugout up there then? The ball's in play if you see it. If it goes inside, it's dead. Well, the 2 boys in back of that little fence, the ball goes in there, it's out of play. The ball must go in the stands for it to be dead. The bullpen's the same, the tarp is the same, the dugout is the same. Easy. No problem at all. You find it that confusing? No, sir.
The ground rules were no more confusing than Jack Billingham. A .500 pitcher during the season, Billingham had the A's baffled in the early going. In the 3rd, Pete Rose works Blue Moon Odom for a walk with 2 down. Rose pressures Gene Tennis into a throwing error and gallops on to 3rd. But Dick Green comes to the rescue on Joe Morgan's bid for a base hit. In In the fifth, the Reds continue to run on tennis as Geronimo takes off. But Odom strikes out the side to maintain the scoreless tie. Odom has a one-hitter after 6, but Tony Perez opens the 7th with a single. Menke sacrifices Perez to second, setting the scene for the most unusual play of the series. Cesar Geronimo singles to center. And Tony Perez heads for home. Perez scores in spite of that king-size flop between third and home. And the replay shows what happened. Geronimo's hit is slowed down by the wet outfield grass. Center fielder George Hendrick picks it up, makes that casual underhand throw into Campy Campaneris just as Perez hit the deck. Campaneris back to the plate, misses the opportunity to cash in on Perez's misfortune.
Yeah, I don't see Perez fall down, so I don't hear anybody to say anything, so I don't know what I throw.
The Perez caper gives the Reds their first lead of the series, 1-0 in Game 3. Vida Blue relieves Blue Moon Odom and faces Pete Rose in the 8th. And Dick Green chalks up his second brilliant fielding play of the night. Bobby Tolan singles following a walk to Joe Morgan. And Raleigh Fingers makes his 3rd series appearance. Tolan steals second without drawing a throw. And that brings Dick Williams out of the dugout for one of his frequent strategy sessions. Raleigh Fingers reveals the substance of the discussion.
He pointed to the on-deck circle. He pointed to first base as if we were going to walk him, and he told me we were going to have Gino stand up, and it looked like there was going to be an intentional walk, and then Gino would jump back down into the catcher's box, and we'd pitch to him. Williams, he wanted me to throw a breaking pitch. He specifically said throw a slider and not a fastball. We threw a slider on the outside part of the plate for a call strike 3.
Johnny Bench talks about the ploy from his point of view.
Just as Fingers went into the windup or into his stretch, I heard Joe holler, "Be alert." So I got halfway ready, and he just made a great pitch on me.
An Academy Award performance strikes out Bench, but the A's are still scoreless in the bottom of the 9th. And Clay Carroll methodically wraps up Billingham's shutout package, and the Cincinnati Reds win Game 3 in Oakland. The 4th consecutive sellout crowd, en route to the 2nd biggest series attendance in history, fills the Oakland Coliseum for Game 4. The visiting team has won the first 3 contests, and the Bay Area fans are hopeful that trend can be reversed tonight with first game winner Ken Holtzman on the mound.
From Oakland, California, game number 4 of the 1972 World Series. NBC Sports, the service of NBC News, presents World Series Report. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Garagio, and once again, I'm here at the ballpark in the bleachers, and the weather, well, we don't have any rain just yet, but there is a threat of rain. I've brought my umbrella. I'm ready. It is cool. It is one of those nights that you better hit that ball right here and not on the end of the bat or on that handle. You're going to get a handful of bees. It is crisp. You know, one of the main topics of conversation in the clubhouse, both clubhouses for that matter, is an unanswered question. Which is better for playing baseball, natural grass or the artificial turf? Well, last night, as you well know, we returned to natural grass here in Oakland. And I don't think that question is answered yet. All it did was just add fuel to the fire. Could Green, for example, at second base, been able to make the play that he made last night on artificial turf? It's a diving play. Some people say he could not have made it on the artificial turf. That ball would have gotten by him. Yet there are others say, yes, he would have made it because he'd have been playing deeper. Well, here's a ball that was hit on that artificial turf, and it did get by. Here's a bouncing ball, which doesn't take the true hop like it would on artificial turf. So the guys are saying, I don't know. Would Menke, for example, been able to make a play at first base? This was on natural grass, he couldn't. So the question goes on and it goes on unanswered. But one play did come back, the bunt. Some people seem to think that with the artificial turf, the bunt has left baseball because that ball just shoots off the artificial surface. And then there are those who say, no, they play deep, so you can still bunt. One thing for sure, on natural grass, it came back. There's the first base hit of the game right there, a bunt by Rudy. Not a play was made. Here is the bunt by Alou. Bench makes the throw, a routine play, but that was the one that turned into a fire drill. Menke's bunt, which turned out to be the biggest play of the night as it moved Perez to second base, where he scored on this base hit. Slowed down by the natural grass. And here comes Perez around third now, and you remember very well, I'm sure you've seen it, down he goes. There are those who say that on artificial turf, even if it was wet, he would not have gone down. But regardless of whether it's better or not, we've got both sides of the argument, and everybody's talking about it. Johnny Bench was in a play yesterday. You remember they tried to walk him intentionally and even pointed to first base, and the catcher put his arm out there, and then he threw a strike and got him. You wonder what his feelings are about that play? They're a little bit different. And we'll be back with Johnny Bench to talk about that play right after this message.
That's not going to hurt anything now. It's got some...
John, yesterday, you were the victim of what I guess I'd have to call a dirty pool. The catcher goes out to give the intentional walk, and zap, they throw a strike. Had it happened before to you?
Never, and I don't think it'll ever happen again, Joe. I wasn't upset too much about it after the game, but I woke up this morning, I started thinking about it, and, you know, with 60 million people looking on, you really look like a goat. The thing was that I was halfway prepared. Morgan had hollered at me and said, be alert, be alive, when the pitcher started into the windup.
Did you believe Dick Williams when he pointed right there to the mound?
Well,
on the mound?
I think he'll probably win an Academy Award for this series. He has most appearances by a manager, most pointing, most discussions, whatever, and of course I think now their tricks are over, and here he is right now, and somebody didn't wait. Ooh. And in fact, he said it was the best slider he threw all year.
Did you see Tennis when he put his arm out?
Yes, I glanced back at him because when he came back and he pointed around, and I thought, well, with Perez up, there's one out. He's a double play man. The infield slow. You know, you got a force play at the plate. A sacrifice fly means 2 runs, and that late in the ball game, and extra runs mean a lot.
Did you ever pull that play off yourself?
No, I've had pitchers throw it over the plate. Well, not without it, you know, without intentionally doing it. But you know, those tricks like that. Now we're aware of their type of baseball, I think, to an extent. They've just about run out their string.
Would you do that to somebody else?
I don't know. You know, you find one rare situation, you find one catcher that really doesn't know what's going on, and you go out there and try to catch him. And they did.
It didn't make you mad till this morning when you realized how many people saw it.
That's about it. Now, why in the world wasn't I ready, or how can he make that kind of pitch? I think it was just the fact that I was a victim of the times, and it's not a good thing for me to really remember, because everybody now, the whole winter long, is going to say, hey, I saw you take that 3-2 pitch. That's stupid.
Hey, John, you were talking about Billingham after the ball game. You were very high on the fact that you thought maybe he should have even been your starting pitcher in the series.
Well, I really did, Joe. I said that after the first ball game, not knowing their attack and what type of hitters they were, we went ahead with Nolan. But after seeing their attack, I said I wish that Billingham could have started, because I felt he was the pitcher that could have done the best job against them. He picks the corners, he's got a sinker ball, and he throws a big slider, and I think that's the best way to get these guys out.
How about Gullett?
Yeah, Gullett's going to overpower him. I think against Pittsburgh he had some problems, but he's a power pitcher going against a power hitters. And when something like that happens, the power usually hitter is going to wind up winning more often than not. I think he can beat this ball club. I really do. I have complete faith in him, and then let's hope that Nolan can
just
come back.
overpowering him.
Right.
John, I want to get into a thing about wearing gloves to hit. Do you wear a glove to hit?
Only in spring training, just until my hands get tough enough, and then I just stay away from the gloves. I sweat a lot, and the hand gets all wet, so it doesn't do me any good.
You still use dirt?
Well, I'm not much of a dirt man. I like the pine tar and the rosin, a combination. I leave it sticky on my hands. They're almost black when the game's over, and I really get a good feel of the bat.
Well, John, we've got 4 fellas that I'm going to talk to who wear gloves. I'm going to ask them on what hand they wear it and why do they wear it. We should get some interesting answers.
Well, my name is Angel Mangual, and I use 2 gloves because I feel comfortable. And I use cold in my bat because here in Oakland, only in the season it's cold all the way, and that's why I use glove and cord in my bat.
My name is Sal Bando, and I use a batting glove on my left hand because after the off-season, when you report to spring training, your hands are soft, and they're susceptible to getting blisters, and they get sore, and all the extra hitting to become very raw, plus the fact your coordination isn't what it would be during the months of June and July, and hit a lot of balls badly and your hand stings. I would like to break the habit, but I'm just unable to.
My name is Dave Duncan, and my reasoning for not wearing my glove on the top hand is that I prefer to have one hand bare, and personally, the bottom hand, I would rather have the glove on for better grip on the bottom of the bat.
My name's Al Maxwell, and I don't wear a hitting glove. It just doesn't feel comfortable to me. Besides that, I don't get to hit that much.
That's a pretty good reason. You know, some guys don't wear it at the bat, but they wear it when they're out in the field. For example, Gene Tennis of the Oakland club, the catcher, got the big catcher's mitt, but he still wears a glove inside that catcher's mitt. And I asked him why. He says he doesn't like the feel of the sponge, and so he wears a handball glove for protection against a bone bruise. And then there are those who don't wear it at the bat, don't wear it on the field, they just wear it when they get on base. Now, take a look here at Campaneris. He doesn't have the glove on. As he heads down to first base, you'll see it on the split screen. He'll be off to the right. And you'll see him reach in, get the glove, and he's putting it on. Another fella does that is Joe Morgan of Cincinnati. Now watch him reach for the glove. And he puts it on, and they say they do that because they do a lot of head-first sliding and they don't want to jam their fingers. But I've always felt that fellas like that put a glove on when they get on base because they just want to look nice when they get to second base, and you just don't know who you're going to meet, and so you do want to look nice. There was another play yesterday that I want to talk about, and that play involved Mike Epstein. You remember he just got the ball and kind of flipped it, nobody was there. It was one of those hot potato, who's got the glove and who's got the ball. Oh, I got the glove. We'll be right back after this message. I'm sure we've all seen that play at the ballpark where a fellow grabbed that ball and threw it up almost like, well, I don't want it, let somebody else handle it. We pretty much had that play here, and I couldn't help but think when we were kids playing hot potato, who's got the hot potato? It's a bouncy ball by Geronimo. Now, Epstein's got it. Here comes the second baseman, the pitcher, and nobody's got it. Here it is once again in slow motion, and old Mike's just going to get rid of it, and now it's somebody else's problem. You don't practice those plays, they just happen. You hate to see them happen, but if there was ever a team that would have a routine to practice a play like that, it would be the Cardinals of 1934, that era, the Gas House Gang, because they had a pepper game, one of my favorite sights. This would be a great way to practice, wouldn't it? Pepper Martin in the middle doing it all, late Rip Collins and Jack Rothrock. Hot potato, where is it? I wish there could be more of that before the game. The Gas House Gang. Well, there it is, and we get set for game number 4. And for the Oakland A's, it'll be a left-hander. Ken Holtzman is the pitcher for the Oakland A's tonight. And Ken Holtzman's record, 19 victories and 11 defeats. He's got an earned run average of 2.51. And for the Cincinnati Reds, it'll be Don Gullett. And as you heard Johnny Bench say just a few moments ago, Gullett, an overpowering type pitcher. He's won 9, he's lost 10, earned on an average of 3.93. So that's it, and this is Joe Garagiola inviting you to stay tuned for game number 4, which will be coming up right after station identification.
Temperature in the mid-50s, misting, overcast in the Bay Area. And welcome to Game 4 of the 1972 World Series. The National League champions, the Cincinnati Reds, versus the American League champs, the Oakland A's. Brought to you by Gillette, makers of the Gillette Track 2 two-bladed shaving system. And by your Chrysler Plymouth dealer, highlighting Plymouth Satellite for 1973. Built to be seen, not heard. Hi, everybody. Kurt Gowdy of NBC Sports. Monty Moore, the voice of the Oakland A's. When are the hitters going to start hitting? Everybody's asking about this 1972 World Series. Each team has a team batting average of 178. There have been only 9 runs scored in the first 3 games. Cincinnati got on the board last night with its 1-0 victory. And I'll tell you, the way the pitchers are pitching, I don't believe we'll see too much scoring in this series.
They're not only pitching with control, but with excellent stuff, changing speeds, and we have just had superb pitching. The hitters have not been that bad. Tonight, a young left-hander, 21 years old, Don Gullett, who was set back with hepatitis early in the season, won 9, lost 10, is on the mound for Cincinnati, and he'll be going against the winner of the first game for the Oakland A's, Ken Holtzman, who won 19 and lost 10. A misty night here. In fact, later we may have a fog rolling in back of us here, coming in and forming an invisible wall. Monty Moore does the A's games here, and he can tell you when we get those conditions here, it's hard to hit a ball out of this ballpark.
Yes, and it's just that kind of a night, too, Kurt. These two teams, though they haven't scored in the World Series, can score. Cincinnati scored 19 runs in their playoff games against the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Oakland A's scored 13 in their playoff games against the Detroit Tigers. Both teams, of course, playing 5 games. To give you an idea of how tough runs are to come by here in the World Series, in last night's 1-0 game, let's take a look at the one run that was scored. Tony Perez from second base on a base hit up the middle, rounding third, and watch this. Now you talk about a guy scrambling, scratching, almost stopped to pick up his helmet and said, well, I think I'll go on. Meanwhile, the ball is coming into the shortstop of the A's, Campy Campaneris, who didn't know about all this falling going on. But that's an idea of how tough it has been for these teams to score. But during the course of the season, Cincinnati was the second best scoring team in the National League, averaging almost 5 runs a game, and the A's were the second best in the American League with almost 4 runs a game. So, Kurt, we'll see tonight whether good pitching once again can stop these hitters.
And can you imagine how Sparky Anderson felt? He's been trying to get a run in here when his man fell down. Well, let's see how Tony Kubek feels about tonight's game. He's down on the field. Tony?
With me down on the field, Pete Rose. And Pete, I don't mean to say this to sound like I'm discrediting either team's pitching staff, but is the pitching been that good, or has the hitting just been lousy?
Well, I think it's a combination of both, Tony. They've only given us 4 runs, and we've held their team to 5 runs. And Hunter pitched a great game. Odom pitched a great game. Billingham pitched a good ball game. Holtzman pitched good when he was in there. And I don't know. It's been tough hitting. We had some days off after the Pittsburgh series, and we've been 3 days out batting practice now. But they say that good pitching will always overcome good hitting, and that may be the case right now. But I know some of the fellas, including me on our ball club, aren't swinging the bat like we were against Pittsburgh in the playoffs. And I think when we start swinging the bats, we should be able to beat Oakland, because they don't score a lot of runs. They rely on their pitching mostly.
Pete, do you think having seen Kenny Holtzman over in the National League is going to be an advantage for your team?
Well, it definitely should help you, and it didn't help me the first game. I was 0 for 4 off him. He pitched 5 innings against us, but just like tomorrow, Catfish Hunter pitched for the second time around. Then we'll get to see probably Vita Blue Saturday and Blue Moon Odom if it goes 7 games Sunday. And I think it always helps a hitter, especially a hitter like me, because I want to know how a guy's curveball breaks or how a guy's slider breaks or what kind of velocity he's got on his fastball. And I think seeing a guy more than one time really helps you, especially me.
Pete, quickly, what about Don Gullett? He's had a few bad starts.
Well, what can you say about a guy that pitched 2 times against Pittsburgh Pirates? Pittsburgh's an explosive ball club, and they handle left-handers pretty good, and other than that, he's pitching pretty well.
Pete, thank you. Have a good day today.
Thank you, Tony.
Pete Rose, now let's go back upstairs.
Another sellout crowd here in Oakland, and we're ready now for the opening ceremonies of Game 4 of the series.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Oakland Coliseum for the 4th game of the 1972 World Series. Here are the official lineup. First, the Cincinnati Reds. Here's the manager of the Reds, number 10, Sparky Anderson. Batting first and playing left field, number 14, Pete Rose. Batting second and playing second base, number 8, Joe Morgan. Batting third and playing center field, number 28, Bob Tolan. Batting fourth and catching, number 5, Johnny Bench. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 24, Tony Perez. Batting sixth and playing right field, number 11, Hal McRae. Batting 7th and playing third base, number 16, Dennis Menke. Batting 8th and playing shortstop, number 13, Dave Concepcion. Batting 9th and pitching, number 35, Don Gullett, who is warming up in the bullpen. And here are the remaining players and coaches of the Cincinnati Reds. Now for the Oakland Athletics. Here is the manager of the A's, number 23, Dick Williams. And special recognition to a great ball player injured in the playoffs, unable to play in the World Series, Reggie Jackson. Batting first and playing shortstop, number 19, Cappy Campaneris. Batting second and playing right field, number 14, Matty Alou. Batting third and playing left field, number 26, Joe Rudy. Batting fourth and playing third base, number 6, Captain Sal Bando. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 5, Mike Epstein. Batting sixth and playing center field, number 25, George Hendrick. Batting seventh and catching, number 38, Gene Tennis. Batting eighth and playing second base, number 1, Dick Green. Batting ninth and pitching, number 30, Ken Holtzman, who's warming up in the bullpen. And here are the remaining players and coaches of the Oakland Athletics. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to rise and join in the singing of our national anthem, which will be sung by the Bell recording artist, The Fifth Dimension.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallant.
The fourth game of the 1972 World Series is about to get underway. We'll return in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the commissioner's box where Lefty Grove, who in 1931, the last year the Athletics were in the World Series, won 31 games and lost only 4, and who in 1969 was voted the left-handed pitcher on the all-time All-Star team, will throw out the ceremonial first pitch.
In his prime, Lefty Grove could throw harder than that. We've talked to some of the old-timers who hit against him. They say he was just fantastic. He wound up winning 300 games, and he wound up winning them with a curveball with the Boston Red Sox when he lost his fastball. But in his prime, especially during the years of 29, 30, and 31, when the A's had one of the greatest teams of all time, Lefty Grove was a premier pitcher in baseball. And he has the honor tonight of throwing out the first ball. And that's the left-hander, Ken Holtzman, now starting his warm-up pitches. And in here to take you through the first 4.5 innings is the voice of the Oakland Athletic Baseball team on their broadcasting crew, Monty Moore.
Thank you very much, Kurt, and hi once again, everybody. Kenny Holtzman, one of the most steady performers in the American League this year. You got to look at his motion here, and we call him stylish. And I think when you see him, you'll understand why.
He has a pretty good fastball. I don't think it is as overpowering as Don Gullett's. But Kenny, and we said this the first appearance that we saw him, he has to get his curveball early, and it makes his fastball more effective.
The umpires for the game here tonight, Frank Umont of the American League behind the plate. Bob Engel at first base. Bill Haller at second base. Chris Pelikutis of the National League at third. Jim Honachek of the American League down the left field line. And Mel Steiner on the right field line. He's from the National League. Frank Umont is going out to talk with Ken Holtzman about something here. I don't know what it might be, but I think he's indicating to him that he can blow in his hand here tonight while standing on the dirt part of the mound rather than having to get off of it because it is a little cool.
Might be he wants to tell Sparky Anderson the same thing. Dick Williams is a pepper pot manager who always has been an umpire baiter. And he was telling me before the game tonight, the umpiring in this World Series has been outstanding, just excellent. And Sparky Anderson echoes the same thoughts.
Well, it certainly has, and these fellows really bear down. I think it means as much to an umpire just about as it does to the players to be able to be in a World Series, and they know they are on display. Here's the first pitch of the game to Pete Rose. And we're underway with a strike. Rose for the season for the Cincinnati Reds hit .307. He has had only one hit in 11 at-bats in the series. Holtzman misses, low and away. It's a ball and a strike. Rose, a switch hitter. Had an ambition this year to hit 300 from each side of the plate, and he did just that. Holtzman's first curveball is in the dirt. It's 2 balls and a strike. Rose hit .315 against left-handers and .304 against right-handers. Throughout his career as a switch hitter, he's been a little better from the left side. Dick Green to Mike Epstein, and there's one out in the first inning. Holtzman is a spot pitcher. He pitches from the left side a whole lot the same way that Jim Hunter does from the right. He throws to spots. Here now is little Joe Morgan, who has no hits in his last 14 at-bats in 4 games. That counts the last game of the playoffs and the 3 World Series games.
Monty, it appears to me Morgan is pressing too hard.
First pitch hit up in the air to Joe Rudy in left field. And Joe puts it away. There are 2 down.
He lives here. He really wanted to do well. He's been swinging hard. He's perhaps trying to go for the long ball too much, maybe.
Here's Bobby Tolan, the very fine center fielder for Cincinnati, and he had a .283 year. Average-wise, he had 8 home runs, and a very amazing statistic to me is the fact he knocked in 82 runs this year. In the World Series, he has 2 hits in 12 at-bats. Quite a comeback he has made from 2 Achilles tendon injuries. Kenny Holtzman's got a tough play to make, and Epstein dropped the ball. Very fine play by Kenny Holtzman. He threw that ball right where Epstein had the glove. It bounded away.
Pretty good bunt by Bobby Tolan. Holtzman bare hands it, knows he's got to hurry. Just off the edge of the glove of Mike Epstein.
Now we'll watch Tolan. Last night the Reds stole 3 bases. They want to play a running game. They're 2 down. Ideal situation for him.
Tolan swiped 42 bases this year. An error has been given to Mike Epstein on the play. Here's Johnny Bench. Johnny led the major leagues in home runs with 40. RBIs with 125, and he base hits to right field. Tolan will go to third base. Matty Alou gets the ball back into Dick Green, and the Reds are set up now with runners at first and third and 2 down. And here comes the hottest hitter for Cincinnati in the World Series, Tony Perez, the only player who has hit safely in all 3 games. He has 5 hits.
Bench just laid the bat on that one, purposely hitting the right field, wasn't trying to pull it.
Now the error could prove very costly if Holtzman cannot get Perez. Bench took off, and no throw is made. He steals second base. Johnny Bench steals second, hoping that the A's would throw and Tolan would break to the plate. The same kind of a play on which Reggie Jackson of the A's scored against Detroit in the playoffs to tie up the final game. The A's wearing Kelly green over their polar bear white pants tonight. Last night they wore a California gold color. When they play at home on Sundays, they wear still another uniform, all white. He struck him out. The score after a half inning, Cincinnati nothing, Oakland nothing. You're looking at 21-year-old Don Gullett. He is in his 2nd World Series.
He's got a Sandy Koufax kind of fastball, Monty. Anytime he goes out to the mound, he can overpower you. Does not have the Koufax curveball, but he can throw the fast one by you.
This is the man they expected to win 20 this year, but he had a case of hepatitis. When they finally discovered what he had, it was called then subsiding hepatitis, the tail end of the disease. But it really set him back this year.
Here is the A's leadoff man, Campy Campaneris. Gullett, good stop. He fell down throwing that ball, but he got him. So there's one away. Here's Matty Alou, who joined the A's for the last 31 regular season games. He was with the St. Louis Cardinals. He has had only 1 hit in the series, and Matty was saying before the game, boy, I have only 1 slump all year. Why would it be now? A little blooper to shallow left field. Coming on is Pete Rose. Good catch. He got him on the run. And that's why they play shallow. He dumps that ball right in behind the shortstop with a little inside-out swing.
Here comes Pete Hard. He's an ex-infielder, but he has really learned how to play the outfield quickly. See that soft spot just in front of Pete? It could be trouble for a shortstop and the second baseman on the other side going back on the ball. Very soft.
Now here's one of the A's most consistent performers, Joe Rudy, the left fielder. Rudy really got jammed. Shortstop Concepcion takes care of it, and the A's go 1-2-3 in the first inning. The score after an inning of play, Cincinnati nothing, Oakland nothing. Give you a look at the differences in uniforms of the umpires. On the right, the National League umpire you see is in all black with a white patch over the left chest, and that's an American League umpire, Bill Haller, on the left. He has gray slacks with a dark blue sport coat, and they tell me that the American League umpires next year might even be wearing those white striped shoes. Here's Hal McRae. Holtzman starts him off with a fastball outside. It's 1-0. A lot of differences in umpiring in the 2 leagues, not only in the strike zone, but how they stand behind the plate, the uniforms they wear, and where they stand to cover second base. McRae with a base hit up the middle, and he is 3 for 3 in the World Series. He's the guy, Kurt, who says, I'm going to go up there swinging as hard as I can on every pitch. I might fall down on my face, but I'll be swinging.
Let's watch his swing here. They got to find a place for him. They're thinking about third base for the future. Good level swing. He's done an outstanding job of pinch hitting in the playoffs, and a snap through and his follow through. He can hit, and they were trying to find a spot defensively for him. He may wind up at third someday.
Dennis Menke proved last night he can bunt. Maybe doing it right here. He squares around and bunts at it, misses. They've got a runner picked off with a good throw, but they don't get the throw. Gene Tennis had McRae off first base, and a good throw would have nailed him. The throw went in the dirt.
Take a look at it again. McRae getting off for the bunt. Menke right on through it. Bad throw by Tennis. Epstein did a fine job keeping the ball in front of him going in that right field corner.
Dennis Menke. For Cincinnati this year, hit .235, but he knocked in 50 runs. He's had one hit in the series. Been up 9 times. Bando short hops it, goes down to second. Green. Whoa, is he taken out at second base by McRae?
Watch Bando again. He's trying to get the lead runner. Now watch McRae. Green, a dead duck. Watch McRae once again. Had a good jump on the little topper. Now you can see him trying to get the angle, and the shortstop does not like this. That man should slide and not come in throwing a block.
Boy, McRae took 2 or 3 short steps right before he got to the bag, and that's the way they played in the World Series, fans. Now here is Concepcion. Bando to Green. They got one, and there'll be no double play.
And Green hung right in there. He didn't flinch.
Watch Menke coming in hard again on a replay. Another difficult play for Green. Much more difficult for a second baseman because your back is toward the runner. The shortstop, you have the runner out in front of you. You can see him sliding. You can avoid him.
Here's Don Gullett with a runner at first and 2 down. Bouncing ball to Green. Underhanded toss to Campaneris for the force play. And in the second, no runs, a hit, 1 left on. The score, Cincinnati nothing and Oakland nothing. The statistic at which you're looking right now indicates that left-handers pitching to the A's lineup with a Reggie Jackson and a Mike Epstein and a Matty Alou, all batting fairly close together, gave this Oakland ball club some trouble. They were tough on right-handers, as you can see, 66 wins and 38 losses.
Jack Billingham didn't read those statistics last night.
He certainly didn't. Here is Sal Bando, the A's team captain. Base hit right field. Bando is on with the first Oakland hit of the night, and that brings up the big guy, Mike Epstein. A jam, broken bat, looper to Joe Morgan, and Epstein won't bat with that one anymore. Gullett has really jammed 2 A's power hitters. He's knocked the bat right out of the hand of Rudy and Epstein tonight. Now Gullett will pitch to George Hendrick. He's the center fielder for Oakland since Reggie Jackson is on the shelf with an injury. George has had 1 hit in the series. Concepcion got 1, and over to Perez for the double play. The score after 2, 0-0. As you can see, Cincinnati was awfully tough against left-handers this year. They won 28, lost 12, and right-handers 67 and 47. Rose, bunt, picked up by Tennis Fair. He throws it in the dirt, and Mike Epstein dug it out of there. Gino's having a tough time throwing that ball tonight.
Epstein's had 3 throws a little bit off target. Look at Tennis again. Notice how he grabbed the ball with his glove and the bare hand. It's his feet position, and then it looked like he threw a sinker ball. Epstein made a fine play on to save Tennis an error.
Both catchers very quick. Tennis and Bench very agile. They've both jumped on bunts in this series. Here's Joe Morgan, who flied out to left his first time up. Dick Green to his right. But have to hurry. Took a hitch and threw that ball and got him. 2 down.
And did you see that ball when it hit that thick turf in the infield, how it was slowed down?
In Cincinnati, that ball is in center field. Both catchers, Bench and Tennis, played other positions. This year, as a matter of fact, Bench played some in left field for Cincinnati. Gene Tennis has played everywhere, including second base in the championship series in Detroit. Let's see if he goes with a waste pitch here. Tennis giving an inside target. He went right after him, and it's a never. That's going to be a tough play for Bando. He makes the play to first for the out. 3 ground balls in the third, and after 2.5, the score: Cincinnati nothing, Oakland nothing. Cincinnati, no runs, 2 hits. The A's, no runs, 1 hit. The pitchers continue to dominate the World Series of '72. Dennis Menke works on the 2-hopper and gets it to Perez to retire Tennis. 1 out in the third. Now here's Dick Green.
You know, Monty, this Gullett was quite a high school athlete in Lynn, Kentucky. We heard he scored 66 points in 1 game. The high school halfback. Tony asked him if it was 11 touchdowns. He said no, 10 touchdowns and 6 extra points. 1 game.
Green takes a fastball strike. Many major league players were super athletes in all categories. Green had a good cut but missed. It's strike 2, 0-2. Struck him out with a breaking ball. Bench dropped it but tagged him out. So they're 2 down. Gullett gets his first strikeout of the night. And it brings to the plate Ken Holtzman, who was a good hitting pitcher for Oakland this year. Holtzman rips one to left, but Pete Rose will be there when it comes down. And it's 3 up, 3 down after 3 innings of play at the Oakland Coliseum. It's Cincinnati nothing and Oakland nothing.
You know, Monty, Johnny Bench is leading off here in the 4th inning. And last night, he dated the boss's daughter. Only it was the wrong boss. He had a date with Charlie Finley's daughter. Called her up, took her to the basketball game.
She's a beauty, too. Former homecoming queen at the University of Colorado.
We were kidding Charlie Finley about it. He may want to borrow some money someday.
Charlie has a big family, 7 children, and 6 of them made the trip into Detroit, then on to Cincinnati, and out here.
His oldest daughter, Sharon, is expecting a baby any day now, and she is home in LaPorte, Indiana. The only child that isn't here in the Finley family.
And there is A's owner Charlie Finley, right next to his wife Shirley. Both Charlie Finley of the A's and Bob Hausum of Cincinnati have done super jobs putting together championship clubs here this year. Hausum decided after the 1970 World Series team for the Cincinnati Reds that it was not the kind of team he wanted, even though they had won a National League pennant. He wanted an exciting team, one that thrilled the fans, and he went out and got a Morgan and a Geronimo and others. Johnny Bench has hit number 5, a single up the middle. And as a leadoff man, Kurt, in this series, he has been something. He has had about 9 or 10 chances to lead off an inning in the series, and he has been on a high percentage of times.
He and Perez now have been on 7 times each. They lead the World Series getting on base.
I know the A's felt when the series started if they could keep him hitting ground balls up the middle and to right field, though, they'd be in pretty good shape. They have kept him in the park so far. Now here's Tony Perez. Struck out with 2 men on in scoring position in the first inning. The drive to deep left center field. George easy riding Hendrick makes the catch, and Bench all the way to second, goes back to first. Perez put a pretty good charge in that one, but there was never any thought that it would go out. George Hendrick covers a lot of ground and makes it look awfully easy. His teammates call him Easy George. 1 out. Now here's Hal McRae, and the A's haven't gotten him out of the series. He's had 3 for 3, including 2 pinch hits. And Kurt, this year, this guy pinch hit 4 home runs.
Right, and the Orioles didn't get him out either. He had 5 hits and 11 times up in the 1970 series. Very effective against Baltimore.
He got jammed aplenty then. Campaneris bobbles it for a moment, and Green can't turn the double play as Bench comes in there on him. He lost the timing when Campaneris bobbled the ball just a moment.
See if we can see the ball rolling up the arm of Campy Campaneris as he really had to charge the ball. Just barely has a grip on it. And Dick Green is really taking a beating down at second base. Here comes Bench. Took a glance at Campy, see where he's going to throw. Now he's got Green once again, who just barely gets out of the way this time.
Green has done a miraculous job of holding on to that ball with all those guys shooting at him tonight. 2 out, a man on, and here's Dennis Menke. McRae is going. The liner goes straight to Bando. The score, 0-0. As we go to the last half of the 4th inning, Bert Campaneris will lead it off for the A's. And Kurt, though the Reds are not coming up with too many base hits, they're really swinging that bat tonight. Campy takes ball 1.
Much more aggressive than we've seen at any time in this series. They're taking good, hard cuts. They look like the club that was scoring 5, 6, 7 runs a game during the National League season.
Great stop by Menke. And he got him. Menke playing shallow, which made that a tougher play. Campaneris almost hit it by him.
Menke daring Campaneris to hit the ball by him about 6 feet up in front of the bag. Diving stab by Menke. He knows he's got to hurry, gets a good grip to get Campaneris.
Oh, we have had more infielders with their uniforms dirty on diving stops here in the last couple of nights. Here's Matty Alou. Took the curve high. He wanted that one. Ball 2. Gullett is behind him, 3-0 now. Matty's a little bit like Campaneris. You really have to work to walk this guy. They come out of that dugout swinging the bat. Ball 4. Jerry Adair. That's Matty Alou on the back as he comes over at first base with Joe Rudy coming to the plate for the Oakland A's. Rudy got jammed and popped up to the shortstop in the 1st inning. It's a very radical batting stance. You have to be strong to be able to stand like that and hit the ball as he's hit it this year. Bench throws the ball away, and Alou's on his way to second.
That's the first error the Reds have made in the series. Oakland has made 5 errors.
Bench caught Alou leaning a little bit, and he made a pretty good throw right on the money. I think Perez took his eye off the ball momentarily to see where Alou was, and the ball got by him for an error.
Now, if Joe Rudy or Sal Bando can come up with a base hit, the A's could take the lead here. He struck him out. Gullett just poured it right by him. And now with Bando coming up, first base open, what do you think? Will they pitch to this right-handed batter or save it and pitch to Epstein?
Well, surprisingly, Epstein hit over 300 against left-handers this year, and the Reds know that. They're going to work to him and walk Bando.
Bando's kind of smiling at the plate. I would imagine he kind of said something to Bench like, man, why are you walking me? Sal over at first base right now, and Mike Epstein at the plate with a 2-1 count. Scoreless ball game. Base hit could mean a run. Great play by Concepcion. Well on the first base side of second base, and they got Mike Epstein and retired the A's, leaving 2 on.
I don't think Morgan could have made the play as he was going to his right. He wouldn't be able to stop. Concepcion ranging far on the first base side of second with a fine play on Epstein.
In the 4th inning, no runs and 2 left. 1 error, the score, 0-0.
Cincinnati starter Don Gullett keeps the A's at bay with help from third baseman Dennis Menke and shortstop Dave Concepcion.
Last of the 5th inning, George Henry grounded into a double play his first time. He pops it up to the right side. Joe Morgan spread eagling those arms, squeezes it out, number 1. Next batter for the A's will be Gene Tennis, who grounded out his first time.
The A's, the last month of the season, didn't score many runs. They were winning 2-1, 3-2. Receiving pitching just like there's a long drive. Goodbye. And the A's are in the lead. Gene Tennis has hit another one. On Saturday, another one today. Charlie Finley with 2 banners. The fireworks and the whole ballpark erupt. And the A's lead 1-0. Dick Green hits that fly ball to right fielder McRae, and they're 2 down. Boy, that Tennis really had authority on that drive. That was a line drive over the left field wall.
Kurt, that's a typical Gene Tennis blow. I know a lot of country baseball fans are wondering where in the world were his home runs all year. He wasn't playing much this year, Kurt. We feel if he'd have been playing all year, he's a 20 or 25 home run a year man.
There he is, putting on what they've called the tools of ignorance over the years, the catching paraphernalia. Meanwhile, down in the Cincinnati bullpen, Pedro Borbon is going to work. The last player to hit 3 homers in 1 World Series, Don Clendenin, with the fantastic Mets in 1969. Ground ball to shortstop Concepcion. The A's are out, but they took the lead with 1 run, 1 hit, Gene Tennis's homers. There were no errors, nobody left. We've gone 5 innings in the score. Oakland 1, Cincinnati nothing. The Reds trailing 1-0 come up in the 6th inning with Joe Morgan, Bobby Tolan, and Johnny Bench. Ground ball to second baseman Green. 1 down.
Sal says his toughest problem with Wade is when the A's go to Cleveland and play, and his mother, who is quite an Italian cook and a good one, has him out at the house a few days.
Bobby Tolan is reached in an error by the pitcher and is grounded out 0 for 2. Yet I just tipped Holtzman's glove. Campaneris fires and gets him. I think it just tipped the outstretched glove of the pitcher, Ken Holtzman. If it did, you'd score that one. Pitcher, the short, the first.
During the last of the 5th, it appeared that Gullett was losing a little bit off his fastball. It's just the opposite of Holtzman. He seems to be coming on stronger. He's thrown his best fastballs in the ballgame this inning.
Johnny Bench has single to right, single to center. He and Tony Perez lead the series with base hits 5 apiece. And there is a line drive charged by Lou. He's got it. What a game he's playing in right field tonight. Well, the Reds are down in the 6th inning. And at the end of 5.5, here it is again.
Fine running snap by Matty Lou in right field.
At the end of 5.5, Oakland 1, Cincinnati nothing. Last of the 6th inning. Top of the A's batting order. Campaneris, Alou, and Rudy. Ball 1. Pedro Borbon goes back to work in the Cincinnati bullpen. Campaneris was robbed of extra bases on a stabbing grab by Menke, the 3rd baseman in the 4th. He hits a high fly to deep left. Squeezed over in the corners. Pete Rose, foul ground, takes it. 1 down. If you like collecting things, why not try something with a sure payoff United States Savings Bond? You can buy bonds right now through the payroll savings plan. It's easy, it's painless, and it's sure. You'll collect peace of mind. Start buying U.S. savings bonds now and join payroll savings. Matty Alou has flied out and walked. They're cheering his glove, not his bat.
And, Kurt, that's a little unusual because when Matty came over here, some of the reports from the National League were that he was not an outstanding outfielder. He has been anything but a poor outfielder for Oakland. He's even thrown 2 runners out on the bases. He's made several circus catches, and the A's are mighty happy to have him.
1 hopper to third baseman Menke. 2 down. Joe Rudy has popped up, struck out. Oakland ahead 1-0 on the home run by Gene Tennis with 1 out in the 5th inning. Dick Williams. Sparky Anderson. Fouled away. Sparky Anderson used to be the bat boy for Fred Haney's Hollywood Stars. Dick Williams used to play in that same area. Around Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, they've known each other for a long time.
And they have a lot of respect for each other. Neither manager has made any kind of a remark disparaging about the other in this series. They've both been very complimentary.
2 balls, 1 strike. I've never heard Sparky Anderson never say anything bad about anyone. He is, I think, one of the kindest and most complimentary men I've ever met. That's Sal Bando on that. There's a base hit for Joe Rudy to left field. A 2-out single by Rudy. Each team now with 3 hits. The batter is Bando. Single to right. Been walked intentionally.
Kurt Gullett must be just losing about 6 or 8 inches off that fastball. They have really ripped some drives here the last couple innings off him.
Perez is playing off the bag. Rudy's going. And there's a base hit in the left field. Rudy has to stop at second. Rose bluffs the throw to second base. The A's have runners on first and second, 2 out.
Kurt, it's amazing the ground that Concepcion covers. He came close to getting that ball, and he was playing Bando straight up.
Watch Concepcion again. The ball slowed up just a shade by this heavy turf. Hit very hard by the glove of Concepcion.
Mike Epstein looking for his first World Series hit. Line shot to right field. Al McRae has it right at him, and the A's are retired to the 6th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. At the end of 6th inning, Oakland 1, Cincinnati nothing. And World Series game number 5 will be on tomorrow starting at 3:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Because of the rain out Tuesday night, we were supposed to have 3 weekday night games in a row. They'll play game 5 here tomorrow, and if needed, they'll go on back to Cincinnati and play in Cincinnati Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. And we have Raleigh Fingers now. That's Mike Hegan. He's gone to first base. We have Raleigh Fingers and Vida Blue starting to warm up in the Oakland bullpen. Tony Perez has struck out, flied out, leading it off for Cincinnati in the top of the 7th. And there's a broken bat blooper that may dump in there. It's a base hit for Perez. He's on with a tying run for the Reds in the 7th. Broke his bat.
Kurt, a pretty good play by Hegan getting back as quickly as he did. There's Blue, the left-hander, Fingers, the right-hander for Oakland. That soft turf saved a double along with Mike Hegan's hustle.
Tony Perez leads the World Series now in base hits with 6. Al McRae, a single to left, grounded into a force play. He pops it up. Campaneris yelling for it. 1 out. Perez staying at first. Dennis Menke hits it to the box. Oakland goes to Green for 1, over to first. Easy double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. And the A's are up to their 7th inning stretch, with the A's leading 1-0. The brains of the Reds is Bob Housem on the extreme left with the glasses, the dark raincoat. His wife alongside of him. And in the second row, the first man in, is Dick Wagner, who is the top assistant to Bob Housem. Francis Dale leaning over with a coat lying on the dugout is the president of the Reds. Housem runs the ball club. They're a quiet group right now, while Charlie Finley's been a one-man cheerleader over in back of the A's dugout. Last of the 7th. George Hendrick leads it off for Oakland. Ball 1. Don Gullett pitched to Beauty here. Foul back. Changed up. Misses. Ball 2, strike 1 to George Hendrick. Foul back. Hendrick strikes out. 1 away for the A's in the last of the 7th. And here's the hand for Gene Tennis, Mr. Home Run of this series. That's Charlie Finley in a gold coat. Gene Tennis hit 2 home runs all season at Oakland. He's hit 1 tonight, and it's been a big one so far. Fouls it away, strike 1. The A's leading the Cincinnati Reds 1-0.
Heard one reason he didn't hit any more home runs. The A's had another catcher named Dave Duncan who hit 19 home runs before he lost his job to Tennis.
Strike 2 in the inside corner. Borbone, Hall, and Clay Carroll have all been exceptional pitchers in the playoffs and the World Series. Sinking fastball, and he strikes out. 2 down. Dick Green is struck out and fly to right. 1-1 pitch. There's a base hit by Green down the left field line. Green is hustling around. He's going for 2. Rose throws off balance, and he's safe.
Watch Green again. Pete Rose almost comes up with a whale of a play. A little bit of the acrobat he learned around second base. Off balance leaping throw. Watch Green again coming in hard.
You're right, Tony. That was a great throw by Rose. An off balance throw falling backwards. Lobbed it in there. Ken Holtzman should get a big hand here by the fans. Ken Holtzman has lined to left, grounded out. Pop up. Menke, the third baseman, will handle this one. The A's are gone in the 7th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We're going to the 8th inning here in Oakland. The score, Oakland 1, Cincinnati 0. Ken Holtzman leading 1-0 in the top of the 8th inning will face Dave Concepcion. Julio Javier's come out on deck, evidently to bat for the pitcher Don Gullett. And then to the top of the order for Pete Rose. Tom Hall is warming up now in the Cincinnati bullpen. Vida Blue, the left-hander. There's Hall. Vida Blue, a left-hander. Raleigh Fingers, the right-hander, are warming up in the Oakland bullpen. They'll be ready in case Holtzman falters here in the 8th. Pounding ball. There'll be a tough play by Campaneris. Safe. Epstein gave it the big boarding house reach, but Concepcion beat it out.
Banda was playing on the line, protecting against an extra base hit down the line. Campy had to go further to his right than he usually does. Bob Engel, the first place umpire, with a very close play. Just out of the grasp of Sal Banda, who was playing the line and in. Campy got over in the hole, came up with the overhand throw, and the ball appeared to sink a little bit on him.
So the time runs on now for Cincinnati in the 8th inning. On the infield hit by Concepcion, who's played a sparkling game tonight for the Reds in the field, and he's just come up with a big hit for them.
That was quite a throw by Campaneris out of the hole, Dan, and that's the gamble you take in late innings, putting that third baseman right on the line. That would have been an easy out for the third baseman playing the normal position, but you have to guard that line against the extra base hit.
Javier is batting for Don Gullett. Dumps it down the third baseline. Bando will play it to first base. 1 down. The sacker there running is Hegan towards second, trying to run him back. The tying run now on second for the Cincinnati Reds in the 8th inning. The top of the order and Pete Rose. 2 balls, no strikes to Pete Rose.
Rose hits it off the box. Green fields it and throws him out. Hit Holtzman, slowed it down, and Green came on for it. Green has played very well in the infield tonight for Oakland.
Might have been a base hit had not Kenny slowed it down. Green was playing up the middle somewhat for Rose. Now we've got Dick Williams coming out to speak with his pitcher.
I think, Tony, what the big question now is, what did he slow it down with, his pitching hand or the glove hand? Because if he had anything like that hit that hard on his pitching hand, he might be taken out of here.
Dick Williams now talking to Gene Tennis. Is he all right? You're receiving him. You should know. Does he appear to be getting tired, do you? This is when a manager wants these honest answers.
Kenny is just that way, too. He'll tell him. In Dallas one day this year, he was pitching, and he's probably told him they're going to bring in Vida Blue right here.
All right, they've got the two left-handers up. That's right. Morgan and Tolan. They figure that maybe Holtzman is tiring a little bit. And Vida Blue is being brought on. So we have a break in the action here at the Oakland Coliseum. The score in the top of the 8th inning, Oakland 1, Cincinnati nothing. Joe Morgan up. And Blue's over with a strike to him. Vida Blue has been outstanding in relief in the playoffs and World Series. Or he's been unhappy, too. He doesn't want to be a relief pitcher. He figures he's a starting star. Joe Morgan looking for his first hit of the series. Outside to him a ball. Blue pitched 4 shutout innings against the Tigers to clinch the pennant. That was top foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He saved the game on Saturday for Holtzman. 2 2/3 innings of shutout relief. Really a wild pitch. It's 2-2. Just outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Joe Morgan. Morgan being played to the opposite field. Here's a 3-2 pitch to him. He walked him. Joe Morgan goes to first. Concepcion's at third. 2 out. Bobby Tolan up. Now Dick Williams is coming out to the mound to talk to Vida Blue.
They've got to talk about what's going to happen if Morgan breaks to second base, too. They've got to be very careful here. The A's have just almost, in this entire series, in this situation, given second base to the runner, as if to say, we can get that man at the plate. Now, if the man makes it to second, that puts the winning run in scoring position, or the go-ahead run.
The Reds stole 3 bases last night. They've stolen a base tonight. Sparky Anderson, he still predicts the World Series is going to 7 games, and he's going to win it. He looks very confident over there.
Just wonder if that...
Yeah, nodding his head, Monty, I think, as if to say, yeah, go ahead, Joe. If they're going to give it to you, take it.
All right, runners on first and third, 2 outs. Oakland trying to cling to this 1-0 lead. 8th inning. There he goes. And he lashes that into right field. Watch Morgan. The time runs in. Morgan may score. Here comes the throw. Morgan's in. And the Reds lead 2-1 in the 8th inning. He had a big jump, and he scores from first base on Bobby Tolan's drive into the right field corner.
With 2 down, Vida Blue makes his 3rd relief appearance and issues a walk to Joe Morgan. Morgan is running, and Bobby Tolan lines it into the right field corner. Concepcion and Morgan score on the double, and the Reds take the lead 2-1.
Joe Morgan hasn't had a hit, but he's just scored a very important run with his speed, breaking with a pitch, and scoring all the way from first. There's a high fly ball to center field. George Henry galloping in under, has it, but the Reds took the lead in the 8th inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. Oakland coming up in the last of the 8th with a score. Cincinnati 2, Oakland 1. Pedro Borbon will try and hold it for Cincinnati now in the last of the 8th inning. Campaneris leads it off for the A's in the last of the 8th inning. Menke in tight against him at third. A strike. Campaneris been thrown out by the pitcher. Menke robbed him of a base hit. There's Menke right on top of the line and on the grass. Campaneris has flied out to deep left. He's hit the ball hard his last 2 times up.
He'll be followed by Matty Alou, then Joe Rudy. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. Concepcion throws him out. There's one down. Matty Alou, flied out, walked, grounded out. 1 hit and 12 times. Bounding ball, Joe Morgan. 2 down. Alou is just not getting the bat on the ball properly. Hall and Carroll. Joe Rudy has popped up, struck out, and singled. Now it's Dick Williams, who has to roam that dugout with the pressure on him. A 1-1 pitch. Ground ball into right field for a base hit. And the A's have the tying run on in the last of the 8th inning. Joe Rudy's second hit. He hits to all fields. Rudy leads the A's in base hits in this series with 5. Sal Bandos had a perfect night. Single to right, walk, single to left. Sends a ground ball to shortstop Concepcion. That's all for the A's in the last of the 8th inning. They had no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Going to the top of the 9th. Cincinnati ahead, 2-1. If we have a 7th game of the World Series on Sunday, we would have a baseball-football doubleheader here on the NBC television network. If the World Series is over, then we would have a pro football doubleheader featuring Cincinnati against the Rams, Denver versus Oakland. Tony Perez has struck out, flied out, and singled. The Reds are up in the 9th inning. Vida Blue can be the losing pitcher in this game unless the A's rally and tie and go ahead and win it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Morgan, Joe Morgan, from first base on Bobby Tolan's double, scored the go-ahead run, and he's Blue's responsibility. There's a drive sinking into right field for a base hit. Perez, 2 hits tonight. And 7 in the series. He's the World Series base hit leader here in 1972. Perez in the 1970 series had only 1 hit and 18 times up. Here's Dick Williams to the mound. Ken Holtzman had pitched 7 2/3 innings of 5-hit shutout baseball. He was taken out in the 8th. Raleigh Fingers will come on. Vida Blue relieved him, walked Morgan, and Tolan doubled. And the Reds lead it 2-1 as we have a break in the action here at the Oakland Coliseum. Here's Raleigh Fingers again. You study him in slow motion. He's been brilliant all year long in the playoffs and the World Series. And he's going to face the right fielder of the Reds, Hal McRae. Everyone knew the Reds had the advantage of team speed. It's paid off so far tonight with Joe Morgan running and scoring from first base in a double, the go-ahead run. Now they've got him hung up. Keegan's throw down, and out is Perez.
Look at Perez. He was trying to get a good jump. Hit and run may have been on. Fingers catches him. Relay throw from Hegan as the tag is made.
Well, that makes it 1 down. Low curve to McRae for a strike. McRae has a single in 3 times. Menke scheduled up behind him. Cincinnati leading 2-1 in the 9th inning. A strike. 0-2. And for the A's fans in the last of the 9th, Mike Hegan is scheduled to lead off, then George Hendrick and Gene Tennis. Fingers got rid of him in a hurry. 2 down. When he comes in with that sidearm curveball to a right-hander, it's wicked.
Watch that last strikeout pitch. He has a good fastball, but watch this ball break. From the side, a little crossfire.
The 2-1 pitch. A high drive in the deep left center. Joe Rudy back for it. The Reds are out at the top of the ninth. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. Last chance for the A's with the score: Cincinnati 2 and Oakland 1. Mike Hegan will be up for his first time of the game. He replaced Mike Epstein, who had gone hitless in 3 times. Geronimo now is in right field for the Reds. That's a defensive measure, one of the great throwing arms in baseball. We're going to watch a left-hander and then 2 right-handers hit against Pedro Borbon. Oakland led all the way until the 8th inning.
Kurt, the A's in this series haven't hit a fly ball off this guy yet in 2 appearances. The base hit by Rudy was even a grounder.
Strike 1 to Mike Hegan. Sparky Anderson on your left, Dick Williams on your right. Slashes it right down to Menke, who's been a very sure-handed third baseman tonight. 1 down. Our statistician, Alan Roth, for NBC, our production stage manager, Jim O'Gorman. George Hendrick is going to be taken out, and Gonzalo Marquez is going to bat. Marquez has been an excellent pinch hitter in this postseason play for Oakland.
Kurt, he was made active for the playoffs in the place of a pitcher, actually, with special permission from the Detroit Tigers, who were given special permission for another player. But when Darrell Knowles, the regular reliever, was injured, the A's put him on instead of another pitcher.
1 out. Nobody on. 2-1 Cincinnati. Breaking pitch for a strike. Pounding ball, skipping up the middle. It's a base hit. He does it again. And the A's have the tying run on. We're going to have a runner. Sparky Anderson watching the runner coming on. As Alan Lewis. Marquez will get a big hand. Just about every time he's been up, he's delivered against the Tigers and here in World Series competition. In the playoffs, in the World Series, in 6 pinch hitting appearances, he's had 4 hits.
And they've all been big ones, Kurt, in late innings, as you usually use a man like this. Sparky Anderson going out to talk to Borbon.
Oakland manager Dick Williams calls on his bench in the bottom of the 9th with Pedro Borbon pitching for Cincinnati. Gonzalo Marquez has a pinch hit through the middle. He's replaced at first by speedster Alan Lewis. And Sparky Anderson comes to the mound.
Nobody hurt. There's nobody hurt. The only one thing you got to do is you got to make this guy stop over there. All right. You don't have to throw over. I don't want you throwing over. Okay. Just make him stop. Just hold it. Okay. Let's go to work.
Tomorrow, Jim Catfish Hunter will be pitching for Oakland. Probably Jim McLaughlin, a right-hander. We say probably, they're not sure. 3:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Game 5 of the World Series. A strike to Gene Tennis. Grounded out in the 3rd. Hit a home run over the left field fence in the 5th. Struck out in the 7th. Don Mincher's in the on-deck circle. That's ball 1. A big power-hitting left-handed batter. Don Mincher. Stop for 1 second. 2 balls and a strike to Gene Tennis. The A's are down by 1 run, last of the 9th inning. Now Sparky Anderson
as the wheels turn here in the Oakland Coliseum, moves to the mound. And he is not hesitating. He wants his veteran who came in and dispatched the A's with such ease last night, Clay Carroll.
With Gene Tennis at the plate, Bourbon becomes flustered. He forgets his manager's instructions, tries a pickoff move, and then falls behind Tennis 2-1. And this time Sparky's out with the hook.
All right, Petey. A hell of a job. I'm going to bring in the honk. Hell of a job. Go on in.
He got the rush and he wanted to get rid of the ball quick.
Well, I'll tell you.
Ball up high.
After I just came out and told him not to throw over the first, he throws over. He's losing his concentration. Honk will be fine. Honk. We got 2 balls, 1 strike. So you got plenty of room. All I want you to do is hold him. I don't want you to throw over or anything. Just hold him. He ain't going to run him. Just give him a pawn. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Clay Carroll tries to lock it up for the Big Red Machine.
There's a ground ball in the left field. Alan Lewis goes to second. And Gene Tennis now becomes the winning run at first base. Alan Lewis at second base. And Don Mincher is going to bat for second baseman Dick Green.
Have southpaw Tom Hall ready, but Anderson decides to stick with Clay Carroll as left-handed pinch hitter Don Mincher comes up.
The seasonal average, 216 with 6 homers, 44 RBIs. 1 out. Runners on first and second. Ball 1 to Don Mincher. Angel Manuel has come in the on-deck circle to bat for the pitcher if he gets a shot. 1 ball, no strikes. Base hit into right center. There's Lewis, rounding third. The game is tied. Over to third goes Gene Tennis. And this Oakland crowd has gone crazy. Angel Manuel, that's Bill Poisdell, the pitching coach. He's retiring this year. The winning run now at third base for the A's. Gene Tennis is there. Mincher's at first. There's 1 out. And the bullpens have failed both clubs tonight.
Dick Williams is going over to talk to his third base coach, Herb Noren. Kurt, he'll do this a lot. He wants to make sure there's no mix-up here. The A's have run the suicide squeeze play quite often this year. It's going to be interesting to see what they do here with only 1 out and how the Reds play the infield.
And now they've officially announced the pinch hitter.
And we're going to have a pinch runner. Johnny Blue Moon Odom will run for Mincher, and he can fly. You might wonder why a pinch runner at first base. The big reason is, in case the ball is hit in a hole somewhere, he might be able to get there in time to break up a double play.
Looks like Williams had an elastic band on him. Started out, and he came back. Williams has been out to the mound repeatedly in the series. He's talked to hitters. This is the A's first World Series. They're primarily a young team. Sparky Anderson now is ordering his infield in. The outfield will have to play very shallow. The long fly ball beats the Reds anyway. They don't want a Texas Leaguer dumped in there. And Angel Manuel, who's been a disappointment this year,
can be a hero right now from Puerto Rico. This is his first World Series appearance. Last year they were calling him the Little Clemente. The infield in. Ground ball. Base hit. The A's win it. The A's have come back with 2 runs in the last of the 9th inning. Have defeated Cincinnati 3-2 and have now taken a commanding lead in this World Series. The fireworks go off. They mob Manuel. 3 pinch hits in the last of the 9th inning for Oakland. Every game has been a 1-run ball game in this World Series, and Manuel is the hero. A bitter loss for the Reds, who had rallied to take the lead, and of course, a fantastic win for the A's. A big underdog for this World Series. They now lead it 3-1, and they can win the World Series tomorrow if they can defeat Cincinnati. The Reds must win to send this World Series back to Cincinnati on Saturday. The winning pitcher, Raleigh Fingers, in relief. The losing pitcher, Clay Carroll, in relief. And forgotten right now, the 2 excellent jobs by the starters, Don Gullett and Ken Holtzman. Monty?
Kurt, this has been an amazing baseball team. The A's did just that against the Detroit Tigers in Game 1 of the playoffs here in Oakland. After Al Kaline hit a home run against Oakland in the 11th inning to take a 1-run lead, the A's came back and scored 2 in the last half of the 11th inning. The people don't want to leave here, Kurt. They're just standing around and enjoying this thing. And as you say, the A's have a chance to bring the first World Championship team to the Bay Area in any sport of all times. What a fantastic come from behind, but one just like they've done many times this year.
With the game tied and the potential winning run on third, the mustachioed marvel Dick Williams selects his 3rd pinch hitter of the inning. A new World Series record. And who can knock it? Angel Manuel faces Clay Carroll. Three pinch hitters, 3 base hits. And Dick Williams' Oakland A's pull it out to go 2 up. And wouldn't they just love to win the championship tomorrow in front of their home fans? No Bay Area team has ever captured a championship in any sport, and the Oakland fans are in a mood to celebrate. Their colorfully attired heroes are just 1 game away from baseball's World Championship, and the whole world is beautiful today. Even the umpires would have to agree that things are looking good. And now Oakland is in a great position to wind up the World Series today. They have their best pitcher, Jim Hunter, slated to start. They have the momentum and the confidence from last night's dramatic come-from-behind victory. Cincinnati is up against it, but Cincinnati hopes they get some base hits. They still feel they can run at will. They're sending men at all times. They can go from first to third. They need base hits. As Sparky Anderson says today, if he doesn't get them, he is going to leave the World Series a very embarrassed man. And the A's will pitch Hunter. The Reds will pitch McLaughlin, Monty, as Gary Nolan's arm tightened up and they go to with McLaughlin.
Right, and the A's know a little bit about Jim McLaughlin. He pitched in the American League for the California Angels some years back. As a matter of fact, the last game he pitched in the American League was against the A's here at this ballpark. Oakland has beaten him 3 times, or 5 times in his career, and he has beaten the Oakland A's 3 times, dating back to Kansas City, and that's Jim right there. Incredible amount of pressure on a man like him. He has pitched very little in the last month or 2 of the season, but he did throw 3 real big ball games in that clinching week for the Cincinnati Reds in August. McLaughlin can throw a real good one once in a while. For the Oakland A's, Dick Williams is giving the ball to Jim Catfish Hunter, the most consistent pitcher in Oakland A's history. Hunter has won 60 games the last 3 years, 20 last year, 21 this year, 18 the year before. He is a spot pitcher, a controlled pitcher, and as his wife was saying last night before the ball game, he's probably the most cool man around the city of Oakland. He has a lot of courage. He challenges hitters, and it's going to be quite an interesting duel here this afternoon as the A's try to bring the World's Championship to the Bay Area.
All right, that's the pregame slant from up here in our telecasting booth. Now let's go down in the field to our partner, Tony Kubek.
With me on the field, a pleased man and a rather puzzled man. Larry Shepard is the pitching coach of the Reds. Ted Kluszewski, the hitting instructor. Larry, your pitching has given up just 8 runs, and yet you're down 3 games to 1.
Yes, Tony, if you'd have said this a few days ago or a week ago, I would have laughed at you. But so far, it's just been exactly that. If we counted on this kind of pitching, why, we thought we'd waltz in.
What are the plans today out of your bullpen?
Well, we've got a fellow by the name of Bullpen going today, and it's a pretty good one. We've got the total bullpen is 24 wins, 60 saves. I know Mac has come in several times this year when we were short, like Gary Nolan being out now, and pitched a game that we needed. He beat San Diego 1-0, and of course with the help of the bullpen. So our bullpen is a pretty good guy.
Polsky, what about the hitting on the Reds?
Well, we don't know. I'm completely baffled. Our big men have been hitting the ball. They've got 12 hits between them, Perez and Bench, but we're just not getting anybody on in front of them. They haven't driven in the run in the whole series.
Is some of it a little bit of a tension or over-anxiety at the plate?
I think so. They might be over-swinging and over-muscling a little bit, which slows their bat down a little bit, and they're not quite getting to the ball, and that seems to be the problem. They're fouling off a lot of good pitches.
Larry, what about McLaughlin today? What about Gary Nolan, who might have been the starting pitcher in this ballgame?
Yes, he's had 2 bad years, Tony, and we're really sorry about it. It's just like Jackson on their club missing him. But Gary, at 70, of course, was hurt during the series and again this year, and I know how badly he feels, and I know how badly the club feels that he can't pitch.
Clue, what about the hitting today? Is there a lot of tension or the atmosphere in that Reds clubhouse and dugout, or are they a looser club today?
I think they're a looser club. I watched them in batting practice. They're swinging the bat much better. Yesterday I was a little worried about them, proved to be right, but I think today they're swinging the bat well, and I hope we're going to score a few runs.
All right, quickly, you think we're going back to Cincinnati?
Well, I told my son Larry in Lincoln that he's going to meet us in Cincinnati tomorrow for the weekend series, so we're going back, Tony.
Larry Shepard, Ted Kluszewski, thank you so much. Let's go back upstairs.
Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, and Bobby Tolan over by the Reds dugout. They'll be the first 3 men. Here comes Catfish Hunter in. The A's take the field. There's delighted fans cheering them. Fans that went berserk here last night right after the game. The umpires assigned to today's game by the commissioner. Behind the plate would be Bob Engel of the National League. At first base, Bill Haller of the American League. At second base, Chris Pelikutis of the National League. From the American League, Jim Honeychick will be working at third. Covering the left field line will be Mel Steiner of the National League and Frank Umont of the American League down the right field line. Jim Hunter, who beat Cincinnati 2-1 in Cincinnati Sunday. He had help with 2 down in the last of the 9th inning. He is one of these young veterans on this Oakland club. He's worked enough now in the majors to have the experience and the polish, and yet he is still only 26 years old. 21-game winner this year.
Terrific control, and I think his first start against the Reds, most of the Reds hitters tell me they were very surprised at the velocity on his fastball. Their scouting report said he has excellent control, spots the ball well with a good curve, slider, and sinker ball, but they all tell me his fastball surprised them.
Kurt Gowdy, Monty Moore, Tony Kubek with you. If you'd have bet me and Monty and Tony before the series that Rose and Morgan would have 1 hit combined and 28 times at bat, I would have laughed at you. Pete Rose is 1 out of 15. He leads it off here in Game 5. And he hits a high drive into deep right. That was way back, and it is gone. He hits the first pitch for a home run. And the Reds lead very quickly, 1-0. Didn't take long, huh?
Reds came out of the dugout about the same way yesterday, swinging at the first pitch. The first 3 hitters did it.
Pete Rose leads off Game 5 against Catfish Hunter. The A's owe their success to their efforts in stifling the top of the Reds' batting order. Rose, Morgan, and Tolan are 4 for 44 so far in the series. But Rose belts the first pitch of the game over the wall. Only his second hit, and the Reds jump off to a mighty quick one-run advantage.
Joe Morgan hasn't had a hit at 13 times up. A strike. He was telling me before the game, I can't tell you what's the matter. I feel like I'm comfortable up there. And the same way for Pete. He had a check swing and tapped it back to Hunter. One down. That home run's not going to bother Hunter. He has a lot of poise, Monty.
Yes, he's had some trouble in early innings this year, Kurt, but he is an awfully tough competitor. I've seen him down 2 or 3 runs in the early innings, and he just keeps plugging along, realizing he's going to get that rhythm and tempo back.
Bobby Tolan spiked a double in the 8th inning last night to right field. That scored 2 runs to put the Reds in front. Then they lost that lead in the last of the 9th. Tolan's had 3 hits in 16 times in the series. 1 out, nobody on, and the pitch is just outside for a ball. And Pete Rose has become the 11th hitter to lead off a World Series game with a home run. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tommy Agee, the last to do it in Game 3 of the '69 series between the Mets and the Orioles. 1-1 pitch. Popped up. Calling for it, Campaneris, the shortstop. 2 down. Nobody on. Johnny Bench. He and Perez have done their job in the middle of the order. They haven't hit with power, but they've been on base. Bench has had 5 hits in 14 times. The problem is there's been nobody on base ahead of them through the first 4 games. The Reds have not scored over 2 runs in any single game of this series. That's how effective the A's pitching has been. A strike. Foul back. Struck him out. 1 run, 1 hit. At the end of the first half inning, 1-0 Cincinnati. The A's cheerleading section behind the A's dugout, they were busy last night. They'll be busy again today. Campy Campaneris leads off against Jim McLaughlin. Fouls the first pitch back. McLaughlin has pitched only 4 innings of relief since September 23rd. This year he won 9 and lost 8. He's 29 years old, lives in Florence, Kentucky. To the box. 1 out. Campaneris had had 3 hits and 15 times up. Here's Matty Alou. He's had only 1 hit in 13 times. Made a pair of good fielding plays last night, though. Ground ball to shortstop. Darrell Cheney nails him, and they're 2 down. And Joe Rudy has had 5 for 15. 1 homer, 1 RBI. And his catch up against the left field wall off Dennis Menke, Game 2, will never be forgotten by those who follow the World Series. It's a strike. Now, that's the kind of stuff that Billingham was getting him out on. Lines it foul. That's why Rudy's so hard to defend against. He'll splatter the ball into the right field corner, the outside pitch. He'll hit the pitch through the middle straight away. And he'll pull an inside pitch to the left field corner. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out on a breaking pitch. McLaughlin looked very good in that first inning. At the end of inning number 1, Cincinnati leading 1-0. 679. Anytime you play 500 ball on the road, you figure you're doing well. And they need a road victory today to stay alive. Tony Perez leads the World Series in base hits, and he slams that one into the left field corner. It is a fair ball. Rudy plays the carom. Perez is coming, and he'll be in there with a double to lead off the second. Again, the Reds hitting the first pitch.
Heard a lot of teams in the American League do that with Hunter. They know he's a strike thrower, and he's thrown 2 high strikes to start these first 2 innings.
So Tony Perez is now batting over 500 in these 5 games. Rose led off the first with a homer. Perez leads off the second with a double. Dennis Menke, 1 hit in 13 times. There's the bunt. Hunter will have to play it to first. He took that quick look to third. Perez had a good jump on the bunt. It would have been a real gamble play there. So give Menke a sacrifice. And he's out for the pitcher to the first baseman. Cesar Geronimo coming up. Fly ball in the shallow left. Going to be a foul ball. Rudy grabs it. Perez is holding. Two down. And the batter now will be the Red shortstop, Darrell Cheney, who's gone hitless in 6 times.
Dick Williams has already held up 4 fingers in the corner of the dugout, indicating I don't think they want to pitch to Cheney.
Cheney's on first. Perez is at third. They're 2 down. And Jim McLaughlin, the Reds pitcher. As a batter, his lifetime average in the major leagues is 126. Broken bat, there's a fly ball in the center. Hendricks comes hard. He's got it. Broken bat Cooper. Fleet George Hendrick gathered it on the gallop. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. The end of an inning and a half. Cincinnati 1, Oakland nothing. Last half the second inning, Mike Epstein, Sal Bando, and George Hendrick come to the plate for the A's. Epstein is looking for his first hit of the series. He hasn't had a hit in 10 times up. Soft curve of the ball to him. 2-0. 3-0. Epstein looks down to Herb Norn, third base coach. The hitter take. Here's a 3-0 pitch. He's on. 4 pitches.
And there's the difference, Kurt. They're just not giving him many pitches to hit, particularly ones that he can hit out. When Jackson's in the lineup, they bat back to back, and it's hard to pitch around one.
Sal Bando. 3 hits in 15. Now warm-up action in the Cincinnati bullpen. There's a ball to Bando. Looks like Pedro Borbon warming up. We talk about the A's being a young veteran team. That is, they have 3 or 4 years of experience, yet they're young. And that's an ideal state if you can arrive at. He hits the drive in the deep center. Drifting back, Bobby Tolan almost to the warning track, hauls it in. Epstein goes back to first. Joe Rudy's 26. Bando is 26 or 28. All in their mid-20s or late 20s. And they're going to be a team to reckon with in this American League. Unless they go to sleep or they get crippling injuries. George Hendrick. 1 hit in 13. He's 22 years old. He can run, he can throw, he can catch the ball. Can he hit big league pitches? There's a fly ball down the right field line. That could be real trouble. Just foul.
Let's watch that last pitch over again. They've been giving Hendrick a steady diet of breaking balls on the outside part of the plate, as they do many young hitters. Bench sitting almost on the outside corner. Just a little weak wave at it to foul it off.
2 balls, 2 strikes. A roller. This is a tough play. He can run. McLaughlin loses the ball. And those A's cheerleaders start up again in back of the dugout.
Here it is again, a little topper, a very difficult play for McLaughlin. I do not believe he would have had Hendricks anyway, as Hendricks really flew out of the batter's box with a good jump.
Runners on first and second. 1 out. The base hit for Hendrick. And Gene Tennis, the batting hero of the series for Oakland. He's had 4 hits, 3 of them have been home runs. He had a home run and a single in the 9th inning last night.
Ball one. Gene Tennis is the second catcher ever to hit 3 homers in a World Series. The first is Yogi Berra in 1956 against the Dodgers. Yogi's here at the series, the manager of the Mets. Ball two.
There's something to think about. If Gene Tennis gets on, or if he even makes an out, and they don't get a double play, Dick Green may be out of the lineup before he bats once.
We'll watch for that, Monty. Dick Green. In the late season, the A's were pinch hitting for their second baseman. Sometimes even in the first or second inning. 2 balls and no strikes to Gene Tennis. There's a long drive. That one's going. It is good. Charlie Finley, the fastest 2-batter man in the West.
It's his 4th home run of the series, and it puts his name in the record book next to Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Hank Bauer, and Duke Snider.
The A's lead now, 3-1. That one's fouled back. What were we saying about Gene Tennis? Along with Yogi Berra, 3 homers. Gene Tennis now is the first catcher to hit 4 homers in a World Series. He hit only 5 all year. He's on his way to the most valuable player of this World Series.
Kurt, as we said before, in a different way, though, it's kind of hard to hit him sitting in the bullpen where he's been most of the year. Dave Duncan had hit 19, the regular catcher.
Backhanded beautifully by Dennis Menke. He throws Dick Green out. After Tennis had cleaned the bases, they didn't hit for Green. Two down, nobody on. And Gene Tennis has tied a World Series record, ladies and gentlemen, and takes the place alongside of the fantastic Babe Ruth, who hit 4 homers in the 26 World Series. Lou Gehrig in the 28 World Series. A strike. Duke Snider in 52 hit 4 homers. Snider again in 55. And Hank Bauer in 1958. There's a strike. These were all 7-game series, except the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, who did it in 4 games. So Tennis is right alongside of Ruth and Gehrig. And Jim Hunter strikes out. But the A's took the lead on the 3-run homer by Tennis. The 2 hits, the score at the end of 2, 3-1 Oakland. We're going to the 3rd inning in Oakland. Kurt Gowdy, Monty Moore, Tony Kubek, Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, and Bobby Tolan will lead it off for the Reds. Rose hit a home run his first time up. And he drills the first pitch into right field. This is the best hitting we've seen so far in the series. The ball is carrying today, as Monty Moore points out here. Carries much better in the daytime than it does at night in this ballpark. We had mist and fog last night. Joe Morgan. Still looking for that first hit. There's a pop. We saw Dick Green take his eye off the ball, see what Rose was doing. Played it very coolly. He played an excellent game defensively last night, and so did Concepcion and Menke on the left side of the Cincinnati infield. There's the Oakland A's record this year, and like the Reds, the A's were best in the American League on the road. They're at home right now, though, and they're in the lead. And they have the top of their order up, Bert Campaneris, who tapped out to the pitcher his first time. Gene Tennis's 3-run homer is the difference right now. Strike one to Campaneris. Hit the Menke, foul. Campaneris is caught looking. Strikeout number 3 for McLaughlin. And the batter is Matty Alou. I've never seen Alou look so futile at the plate as he has in this series, Monty.
He hasn't even hit the ball hard in the series, and it's strange because he had no slumps at all after joining the A's. In 31 games, he was getting a hit or two almost every day.
There's a fly ball out in the right field. Geronimo waiting for it. And we have 2 down. Joe Rudy struck out his first time. Joe Rudy hit by the pitch ball. Mike Epstein walked his first time. The Oakland A's have 2 out. And once again, action in the Cincinnati bullpen springing up. Bando went after the 3-0 pitch and grounds out. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. 3 innings are gone in Game 5 of the World Series. Our score is Oakland 3, Cincinnati 1. If Cincinnati wins today, the World Series will move back to Cincinnati for Game 6 tomorrow, starting at 12:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Tony Perez doubled his first time up. First ball swinging, a strike to him. And he hit the first pitch of the second for a double. Perez, the leading hitter in the World Series. Grounded to shortstop. Campaneris over to Epstein, 1 down. Dennis Menke sacrificed his first time. He hits a high drive to deep left. That one is sailing back, and it is gone. A home run for Dennis Menke. And the Reds now are only 1 run down.
Hanging breaking pitch. Perez missed on the first pitch to him. A breaking ball that Hunter got high and inside. He fouled it off. But Menke didn't let it get by him. What's that home run swing once again? Notice how much he chokes up. But he does have good power. Belt high inside the hanging curve.
And like Pete Rose, Menke's home run is only his second hit of the series. But it brings the Reds back to within 1 run at 3-2 Oakland.
Our score is Oakland 3, Cincinnati 2. Ball 1 to Cesar Geronimo, who fouled the left field his first time. The Oakland bullpen is busy again. Hamilton, a left-hander, Locker, a right-hander. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul off the mask of tennis that shook him up. Foul back. Foul again. Foul. The 2-2 pitch to Cesar Geronimo. Keeps spoiling. Another one. Ends here in this duel between Hunter and Geronimo. And he fouls it again. Look out there in that red dugout. That scattered the boys. That's Concepcion. Said, hey, I'm your teammate. Foul again. Another foul by Geronimo. Change up, foul again. He has 8 foul balls in a row now, and he's hit 10 fouls this time at bat. Struck him out. The gave Hunter quite a workout. That's the second strikeout for Hunter. Darrell Cheney was walked intensely his first time. We're in the top of the fourth inning. The A's are leading the Reds 3-2. Ted Eulander has come out on deck. There's a fly ball, hit the deep center. Hendrick is out there, drawing a beat on it, hauls it in, and the Reds are out in the fourth. The score at the end of 3.5, 3-2 Oakland. Last of the fourth inning, and Sal Bando leads it off for the A's. He'll be followed by George Hendrick and then Gene Tennis. Jim McLaughlin drops the curve in for a strike. A high chopper foul. Bando's quickly behind, 0-2. Ooh, that pitch just missed. 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He's on. Second walk by McLaughlin. He's also hit a batter. George Hendrick beat out an infield roller. And again, Bourbon gets up in the Cincinnati bullpen. They're looking for the bunt. A ball, and he had ideas of pushing it down the first baseline with Menke charging right on top of the plate from third. 2 balls and no strikes. McLaughlin lost Bando after he had 2 strikes on him. And here's Sparky Anderson coming out now because that's 6 balls in a row delivered by McLaughlin. And I believe he wants a new pitcher.
You know, the Reds players were saying the other day, when Sparky comes out, I know he's not coming out to talk with me.
Yep. Doesn't want to go any farther with McLaughlin. He removes him, brings Bourbon on. We have a break in the action at the Oakland Coliseum in the last of the fourth inning. The score, Oakland 3, Cincinnati 2. It's 2-1 now to George Hendrick. There's the bunt. Over the glove, but Perez very alertly backed up Bourbon, who let the ball skip over his mitt. If Perez had not been there, Hendrick would have beaten that one out. Hendrick gets a hand as they wave those banners again. Those banners have become a conversation piece there. Charlie Finley started out with 250. There he is, the quickest two-handed banner man in the West. Yesterday, he ordered 350 more, and today he ordered 2,000 delivered here. They're going to walk Gene Tennis. Mr. Home Run Slugger of this series, who has tied the immortal Ruth and Gehrig, among others, and Duke Snyder, with the most home runs hit in the World Series. Dick Green is on deck. They may hit for him. We'll see. Gonzalo Marquez is coming out to bat for Dick Green. Marquez has been sensational pinch hitting. He had a pinch hit single last night. In the playoffs in the World Series, he's had 6 times at bat, has had 4 pinch hits, and 6 times up. And Tommy Hall, a left-hander, getting ready in a hurry in that Cincinnati bullpen. The hand is for Marquez, who made the World Series when Darrell Knowles, ace reliever of the A's, broke his thumb. They put Knowles on the inactive list and activated this fellow. All right, Bando's at second. Gene Tennis is the first, 1 out. And he slams it foul outside of first.
Tell you, Kurt, he comes to camp swinging that bat. He hasn't taken 4 pitches since he came up from Des Moines, Iowa.
He blips it into left center. It's going to be in for a base hit. Here comes Bando in to score. Gene Tennis goes to third. He's safe.
In his hands at third base, along with Alex Travis of the Reds, probably than the manager. Now he's getting that one runner in. Signaling Tennis, come on over. Now let's see if he's going to give him the hit the dirt sign. There he goes. Hit the dirt, Gene. As Tennis comes barreling in on the dive.
Gonzalo Marquez gets the nod from Dick Williams to do his instant pinch hit act against Pedro Bourbon in the fourth. Salvando scores, and it's now Oakland 4 and Cincinnati 2.
Now, while all that was going on, Marquez left the game to a standing ovation. Alan Lewis replaces him at first base for as a pinch runner. Marquez received a standing ovation as he raced from first base into the A's dugout. And here they've got the suicide squeeze. They've got him hung up, and he's out as Tennis pushes Menke away, and it backfires on the A's. Down to second went the pinch runner, Alan Lewis. Jim Hunter failed to make contact.
Watch the tag by Menke. Tennis, the dead duck, decides to try and bowl him over. Menke holds on to the ball as Cheney comes on to back the play up. Here he breaks, right as the ball is released by Bourbon. He's hung up. Bench, running him back, getting him going to the direction he came from. Menke makes the tag.
Fly ball hit into left center. Bobby Tolan in front of it. The side's retired. The A's picked up another run. They had one hit. There were no errors. They left one at the end of 4. The A's 4, the Reds 2. That's the A's dugout. And now in the 5th inning, Ted Eulander is going to bat for Bourbon as Ted Kubiak plays second base for the A's. Eulander hitting for Bourbon. We have Tom Hall and Gary Nolan, who we told you had been in the clubhouse.
Bobby Tolan comes up with 2 out. Joe Morgan on first in the top of the 5th inning. Morgan scores all the way from first on Tolan's single, and the A's lead is sliced 4-3.
Missed with a breaking ball outside. Raleigh got ahead of him at 0-2 and wasted a couple with teasers. Into center field, and Easy George Hendricks makes the catch. 2 downs. The A's fans are waving the pennants and roaring here. Pete Rose, who hit the first pitch of this ball game over the right field wall for a home run, followed in the 3rd inning with a single. Catfish Hunter got him in the 5th on a ground out to short. Drive to left field. Rudy's going deep. He's got it. He ran out of track out there. We go to the last half of the 7th inning. The score, the Oakland A's 4, the Cincinnati Reds 3. Here at the Oakland Coliseum with Concepcion, the new shortstop, on your left, and Clay Carroll, the right-hander, on your right. Here at the Coliseum, 50,000 fans are standing and singing "God Bless America" rather than "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." And there's the song leader, Charlie Finley.
He's been the leading character of the World Series. On stage.
He has done that one other time here at the Coliseum, had the crowd sing "God Bless America" with 51,000 actually here on a Monday night this year. And I think it's a great touch. It's just a fantastic thing to see this kind of spirit, and we're better to hear it than at a World Series. Here is Gene Tennis, who has put Lucasville, Ohio, right in the middle of the map. Strike called from Carroll.
And we'll see how Carroll does today. He was a losing pitcher. They gave up the winning hits last night, and the A's come back last of the 9th inning.
Another nice stop by Dennis Menke. And it's there in time for the out. 1 down in the 7th inning.
Menke has probably been defensively the most consistent player in this series. He's made him look easy, just gliding over to his right, formerly a shortstop until knee surgery. He still has pretty good range at third.
Ted Kubiak is batting. They call him Mr. Smooth. Carroll falls down.
Kubiak could not get a good jump out of the box. You don't usually get one. And you tap a ball or get jammed. Carroll thought he had to hurry a little bit more than this. Feet give out from under him. Kubiak's got a hit.
And you wonder how they score this one? A base hit.
Raleigh Fingers comes up, and this guy can swing the bat. I don't know if Dick Williams will have him swinging it here, but he hit a home run in Texas this year.
Where do they get all these pitchers that can hit, Monty?
I tell you, they have a lot of fun. Pre-game batting drills. The A's pitchers have the game, as do all clubs' pitchers, but Oakland does have a bunch of real good hitting pitchers. That's Johnny Bench to Joe Morgan, and Fingers drops the perfect bunt down the third base line. He really did in that ball. Oakland leading 4-3.
Watch how far, as Menke comes in, Johnny Bench ranges from behind the plate. Yogi Berra is one of the finest at moving out from behind home plate on bunts. Bench may even top Yogi.
They say he's a one-handed catcher, but on that pickup, as they teach all catchers, he goes at it with the glove and rakes it over into the other hand. Here's Bert Campaneris. The A's are a hit away from another run. Breaking ball, strike called, and he had that one up around the letters. Johnny Bench back, but he'll run out of room before that one lands. It's in the seats. He got him looking on a fastball, and he really had him set up for that. Campaneris unhappy, but it's all over in the seventh. The score, Oakland 4, Cincinnati 3. We go to the top half of the eighth inning, and here is the toughest part of the Cincinnati batting order to face Raleigh Fingers, at whom you're looking. There's Joe Morgan to lead it off. Tolan and Bench will follow. Morgan, who hasn't tried to bunt in the series, ran up on that one and took it high for ball one.
Morgan will do anything to get on. He really believes he can steal anytime he wants.
He led the Reds in walks this year, got 115, and he's up there looking at Raleigh Fingers now at 2-0. He walked in the fifth inning after two were out and turned it into a run. Right down the middle. This year, no one in the major leagues received more free passes than did Joe Morgan. 115 times he got on that way. All three, and Fingers now has the biggest pitch to make he's had to make in the game. Tolan on deck. With Morgan not hitting the ball, the pitchers really hate to walk a guy like that who can turn a walk into a double. He walked him.
And they walked him in the fifth, and he scored from first base on a single.
That's the first walk Fingers has given up, and he couldn't have walked a more dangerous man in a one-run ball game.
Monty, a pitcher has a few weapons he can use against a great base stealer like Morgan. You can throw over many times. You can adjust your rhythm. Pitch home plate quickly one time. Take your time. But maybe the best of all is to stand out on the mound in your stretch position and let that runner get flat-footed so he doesn't get a good moving break towards second base.
Here's the situation. Dick Williams is going out. Here's the situation, Kurt, where the A's missed Darrell Knowles more than at any other time. He has one of the best moves to first base at holding runners on and one of the best pickoff moves in the major leagues. And Darrell is out with a broken thumb.
He had the lowest earned run average on the A's staff, and I guess he was especially good coming in against a left-hander like Tolan.
Right, and Williams would even bring him in against right-handed batters with a good base stealer on just to hold him on there, and it really means a lot to a catcher. Darrell broke his thumb in a most freak way for a pitcher. He only batted about 6 times all year, and he hit a ball to left field, and turning to run away from the plate, he fell down on his thumb. Here we go. There's the first throw over to first base, where Mike Hegan has taken the place of Mike Epstein. That time he meant business. He threw it hard. Fingers probably wanting to try to tire him out a little bit. He has to be careful about throwing the ball away there. There's a gigantic amount of room behind the first baseman. Pitch out this time, and he's not going. World Series and the World Championship of Baseball might be on the line with how the Oakland A's handle Joe Morgan on the bases right here. There he goes. Bunted out and missed. Throw to second. Too late. He steals it. That time Tolan helped Morgan out.
He can hold him on. Morgan with a big lead. Tennis got rid of the ball well, but Morgan just outruns the ball.
The next time Morgan reaches base in the 8th inning, Raleigh Fingers devotes some effort to keeping him in check. But Joe Morgan is not easily discouraged, and he steals second with ease.
Now Tolan's job is just to get him over. He bunts at it, misses. Or did he go for it? He did.
Morgan hasn't had a hit in this series, but now his speed, his base running, paid off last night and today.
Cincinnati bullpen has put a starter out in the hill now. Ross Grimsley, a left-hander, has joined Simpson, a right-hander. Base hit right field. And Alou falls down. Tolan may try for third. He's going to stop at second base. The Reds have the go-ahead run on at second as Matty Alou fell down. That could be a very, very costly slip.
And Tolan is really coming up with big hits. He now leads the Reds in RBIs. Knocked in 2 last night. He's driven in 2 runs today.
Fingers, relieving for the 5th time, turns his attention to Bobby Tolan. And here comes Joe Morgan to score and tie the game at 4-4.
An error has been given to Matty Alou in right field, allowing Tolan to go to second. A tie ball game at 4-all. That leadoff walk is always a bad omen, and Fingers has found it costly here. Now Johnny Bench. He ran into the ball. Was he in front of the plate or not?
Home plate umpire Bob Engel appealing immediately to first base umpire Bill Haller. Williams out now saying, I want you to appeal. Now Haller's coming in as Engel says, nope, I did not make the call. Haller did. Bench was in the batter's box when the ball hit him. Had he been out, and the ball hit him in fair territory, he would have been out.
1 strike to count on Johnny Bench. Bando holding Tolan at second, throwing to first for the out. 1 away. And now Tony Perez is led all players in the series with base hits. Sal Bando in from third to talk to Raleigh Fingers. Joe Morgan, who led the majors in walks, got his specialty to start this big 8th inning for Cincinnati.
Got to keep your eye on Tolan on second base, too. He's liable to try to go for third and get there where he can score on the sacrifice fly. Kubiak's holding close.
Strike 2.
One of the Red players unofficially figured out that the winning share will be about $22,000, $23,000 a player.
The last 3 years in a row, the winners have had $18,000 a man, and that compares with the first World Series. The players got $1,100. Sparky Anderson facing the dugout. Here goes Tolan to third. It's swung and a miss. Throw to third. Safe. Bando is furious. Here comes Dick Williams into the picture.
Watch Tolan. He's being held close by Kubiak. He did not get a particularly good jump. Bando scoops it out of the dirt. Jim Hunachik, the umpire. Bando made the sweeping tag, and Tolan got around him. Here it comes again. Bando with his foot in front of the bag. Sweeping tag. Jim Hunachek, third base umpire, says, you missed him. He slid around you.
Now here's Dennis Menke. He is homered, struck out, and sacrificed. Sparky Anderson calls Menke one of his best clutch hitters, and he has never had a more clutch situation than this right here. It's no balls, 2 strikes. He got him. So we go to the last half of the 8th inning. The score, Cincinnati 4, Oakland 4.
If the World Series is over today, Sunday on NBC, there will be a pro football doubleheader. Check your local listings for those games you see in your area. If there is a World Series game on Sunday, we'll have a baseball, football doubleheader. And we're going now to the last of the 8th inning, and Matty Alou up.
Clay Carroll into the wind. Strike call to Matty. Alou, Rudy, and Epstein. Second, third, and fourth hitters for the Oakland A's. Carroll's going to have to cover first. He got there. Clay Carroll almost fell down again.
Both Carroll and Perez make a great play on this one. You can see they get their signals mixed up just slightly. Now Tony with a flip leading Carroll, just barely beating Alou. Tough call for Bill Haller, the first base umpire.
Now here's Joe Rudy, and Dennis Menke, the third baseman, is going to play right even with the bag. Rudy bunted for a base hit here the other night. And he does that for 2 reasons. He gets base hits once in a while, about 9 this year, but he'll draw that third baseman in, or he has a better chance to hit it by him if he swings. Ball 1 to Rudy. We are tied up at 4-4. Cincinnati has had 6 hits and Oakland 4. On deck, Mike Hegan. Missed outside. Sparky Anderson has had Ross Grimsley in the bullpen. Now he has Jack Billingham. They are his 2 starters for the 2 games in Cincinnati if it goes that far. Billingham pitched the best game against Oakland of any Cincinnati pitcher. Rudy pops it up. Pete Rose looking for it in the sun, and he's saying he's got it. Boy, when he catches that ball, he really snaps it down to his waist.
And Rudy got under that one just a little bit too much, or he might have had it out of here.
Now for the A's, Mike Hegan comes up to bat. Mike, for the year, hit .329 for the A's, mostly as a pinch hitter. Also used as a late-inning defensive replacement. Watch Joe Morgan to his right. He beat it. Mike Hegan ran up on the grass.
Watch Joe get rid of this ball. He knows Hegan has speed. You have a chance to call it yourself. Puts on the bag. The ball's still out there coming into Perez's glove. Haller with a couple of close plays. Take a look at it again. Joe flipping the ball over. Put on the bag as the ball gets in the glove.
Now Sal Bando. There's a drive up the middle. Base hit. Hegan is going for third. And now, with 2 down in the last half of the 8th inning, George Hendrick is scheduled to bat here, and we're going to have a pinch hitter, I believe. One of the heroes for the A's last night, from Selma, Alabama, Don Mincher comes out. Grimsley in the bullpen for Cincinnati. Over on the A's dugout wall, Dick Williams scratches off a name. Oakland has runners first and third in a tie game. And there's that scorecard. You can see a lot of changes made here today.
Now Dick Williams with only right-handed pinch hitters left.
And out comes Sparky. He didn't make this trip out there last night. He left a right-hander in to pitch to Mincher, and Mincher ripped the ball into right center field for a hit.
And they're bringing Grimsley in to work to Mincher.
But Dick Williams will make a change. It's going to be Angel Mangual here against the left-hander. There's a break in the action here in Oakland to score. The A's 4, the Reds 4. And there he is, left-hander Ross Grimsley. 2-1-14, he lost 8 this year for Cincinnati. And the man he'll try to get out is Angel Mangual, who got the base hit through a drawn-in infield that won it for the A's and sent this entire portion of the Bay Area into delirium.
And in the meantime, Jack Billingham continues to warm up for the Reds. Anderson going all out. He has to.
As Larry Shepard said before the game, it's Bobby Bullpen today for Cincinnati. A base hit here could send the A's on top into the top half of the 9th inning. The score is 4-4. Mike Hegan is at third base, Sal Bando at first base. And that's the same kind of ball. Morgan has got it. Throws him out. And we go to the 9th, tied up 4-4.
It's the 9th inning. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Cincinnati. 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Reds. Angel Mangual, who hit for Hendrick, replaces him in center field. The A's have 3 defensive players in their lineup now that did not start the game. Kubiak at second, Hegan at first, Mangual in center. Cesar Geronimo is scheduled to lead off for the Reds. The pitcher Grimsley to follow him. There's never been a World Series and where every game has been decided by 1 run. And Geronimo has a base hit to right. He leads off the 9th inning. Grimsley is coming up. And it is popped up. They let it drop. They throw to first. A wide throw, and they had a chance for a double play, and Fingers nearly threw it away. He let the ball drop, nearly threw it away to Hegan, who made a desperate lunging grab.
He was very alert. He thought he could get the double play on the pop by trapping it. Then he got excited, threw it to first base. Kubiak had come over to cover, made a good play to save the ball from going in the right field corner. Geronimo going out of your picture down to second base. He was lucky to tag the runner sliding in.
In the 9th, Cesar Geronimo leads off for the Reds with a bouncing single through the hole. Ross Grimsley gets set to sacrifice. Sal Bando yells, "Let it drop," to Raleigh Fingers with a double play in mind. But the plan backfires, and it takes an acrobatic play by Ted Kubiak to retire Grimsley as Geronimo moves to scoring position. And if they'd had the good throw to first, they had an easy shot at Geronimo down at second for a double play. So now the Reds have the go-ahead run at second. That's what they were trying to do anyway. And Dave Concepcion is the batter. He was a pinch hitter in the 7th, and he flied out. Hit the Bando. Up. Throws. Safe at first base.
Bando had to charge it. The ball stayed down, just creeps beneath his glove. Now frantically trying to find it, still trying to find the handle to get Concepcion, but he has speed. Bounces it in the dirt. Hegan with a fine stop.
And the Reds have the top of the order up. They have charged Bando with an error. The defensive lapses are giving the Reds a shot here in the 9th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Base hit into center field. Geronimo will come in to score. Racing to third is Concepcion. On the throw to third, Rose takes second. And the Reds lead 5-4. Rose went to second on the throw to third.
And Grell's throw over the head of the cutoff man, Bert Campanarison, offline, allowing Pete to go into second base in the scoring position, and now erase the possibility of a double play.
Now Pete Rose. And he signals Geronimo home, and the Reds take a 1-run lead.
Joe Morgan will be the batter. Dick Williams wants his left-hander, young Dave Hamilton, to come on now and face Morgan. And loose defensive play has hurt the A's here in the ninth. So we have another break in the action at Oakland. The score in the top of the ninth is now Cincinnati 5 and Oakland 4. Dave Hamilton making his first appearance of the series. During the year, he won 6, lost 6. 24 years old, born in Seattle, Washington. Lives now in Edmonds, Washington. He's facing Joe Morgan, whose base running has kept the Reds alive last night and today. Even though he hasn't had a hit today, he's walked twice. He has scored 2 runs. He's stolen a base. He went back and talked to Alex Grammas, the third base coach, about Hamilton. And the Reds have runners on second and third, 1 out. He hits a high fly down the right field line. It's shallow. Concepcion is tagging. A loose throw is double play. Got him. There's Concepcion leading as the ball touched the glove. And here's the throw coming in by Matty Alou. A perfect throw. A tag by Tennis, and it's a double play, 9-2. 1 run for the Reds. They had 2 hits, and they take the lead. 5. Matty Alou has been hitting below par in this series, but fielding above par. He made 2 good plays last night. He has just an average arm, but he gets rid of this ball in a hurry and throws a perfect strike to double up Concepcion at the plate to keep the Oakland A's within 1 run. As the A's now will come to bat in the last of the 9th inning. They'll have their catcher, Gene Tennis, leading off. Then the second baseman, Kubiak. And the pitcher to follow. Gene Tennis hit a 3-run homer in the second, walked in the 4th, rounded out in the 7th. Once again, we go down to a 1-run ball game. Ball, I can't remember so many important games in 2 weeks of the playoffs and the World Series that have been decided by so many 1-run decisions. That was an earned run, by the way, for Cincinnati. Ball 2 to Gene Tennis. Grimsley, a starter, pitching in relief. Billingham and other starters warming up in the Cincinnati bullpen. Ball 3. Three balls, no strikes. He's on. The tying run is on for the A's in the last of the ninth. Ted Kubiak's the batter. Dave Duncan has come out on deck as a pinch hitter. One strike to Kubiak. He pops it up. Waiting for it, first baseman Perez. 1 out. Now Duncan will bat for Hamilton. And Anderson just pointed out there. He wants to come out. He's got Billingham, a right-hander, loose if he wants him. And he's going to bring him on. Right down against it. He's got a 1-run lead to keep his team alive. Send them back to Cincinnati tomorrow.
He's had to rip up the pitching staff today, but he's had to. And we're going to have another break in the action here in Oakland with a score in the last of the 9th inning. Cincinnati 5, Oakland 4. Jack Bellingham, who pitched brilliantly here on Tuesday night, had to have 9th inning help. Won 12, lost 12. Will face Dave Duncan, who lost his starting catching job just after the halfway mark. That's Blue Moon Odom, who's gone in to run for Gene Tennis. Duncan hit 19 homers during the year, 15 in this ballpark. He has good power. He hit most of those home runs early in the season. Seasonal batting average of .218. And he lines it into left field for a base hit. Here's Odom coming to third. The tying runs to third. The throw by Rose comes in to second. And the A's continue their miraculous pitch hitting. They've had 2 pinch hits today, and they had 3 pinch hits in 1 inning, the 9th inning last night. And a good play by Pete Rose. He kept that winning run from getting to second base. He had no chance on Odom at third. Now Herb Norton, the third base coach, wants to talk to Campaneris. Campaneris has gone hitless in 4 times. This is the top of the A's batting order. Cincinnati leading 5-4, last of the 9th inning. Another seat squirmer here at Oakland Coliseum. The A's fans standing with their banners behind the dugout. Everybody on their feet there. The infield is tight at first and third. Just a little shorter than halfway at short and second. They get the ground ball at either short or second. They may try for the double play to get out of the inning. Campaneris fouls it off. Out of play. Strike 1. Billingham's ahead of Campaneris. 1 strike. John Odom, the tying run at third. The on-deck batter, Matty Alou. The winning run, Duncan at first. Strike 2. Don Gullett, another starter, is warming up. There are 3 starters. Grimsley, Billingham, and Gullett have been in the bullpen. And he pops it up. Perez back. Morgan going and takes it in foul ground. Here comes Odom. And he is out. The ball game is over. A double play. Odom gambled and tried to score on the foul pop. And he's out at home plate. Dick Williams comes out. The Reds are still alive. They win it. Here's Odom tagging. He thought Morgan might not be quite alert or have his back to the plate. Odom tries to score. The throw from Joe Morgan is in time. A double play to wind up the ball game, and Cincinnati leads it 5-4. Now watch Joe Morgan. He yells Perez off the ball. Morgan, quickly, even though he slipped and fell, fired to the plate. And for a fellow who hasn't had a hit in this series, Morgan is playing a very valuable role yesterday and today. So the Reds win it, and for the 5th World Series game in a row, it was decided by 1 run. The A's had a chance, a big chance, with runners on first and third, 1 out, but couldn't do it. So in that last of the 9th inning, no runs, 1 hit, there were no errors, and 1 man left. The winning pitcher, Ross Grimsley, and the losing pitcher is Raleigh Fingers. And your final line score, Cincinnati, 5 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Oakland, 4 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. And let's go down now to Tony Kubek.
With me on the field, Joe Morgan, one of the heroes, not only with that last play and throw, but also with his base stealing and bases on ball. Joe, you waved Perez off on that last play.
Well, Dougie was moving back away, and I was going to be moving away also, but I figured I could round the ball and have my body going toward the plate better than he could.
You got 2 bases on ball today, a couple of stolen bases, and scored 2 very important runs. First time that team speed is shown for you guys.
Well, it's the first time I've been on base with any consistency, Tony. You know, like I said all along, if I get on base, we'll score some runs because these guys will get me in, and it seems though when I get on base, things happen. And so far in the series, I hadn't been able to get on base, but really, to be honest with you, I think today gave me a big lift, and I think I'll be real good from now on.
Joe, before the ball game today, I overheard you talking to a writer. You refused, and to your credit, to use the excuse that your heel's bad. I think we all know it's bad and it's been bothering you. You've shown a lot of courage playing on it.
Well, I don't want to make any excuses, Tony, because, like you say, you just go out there and do the best you can do, and it could have been the other way. I could be having a great series even with the bad heel, so I can't really say the heel has caused me to do a lot of things that I'm doing wrong, but I'm just going to go out there and battle them from now on, and hopefully we can win the next 2.
You're going back to Riverfront, back home for that 6th important game.
Right, and I tell you what, Tony, we're going to win it.
You've got a lot of men in the bullpen today. Who you got starting tomorrow? Does anybody know yet?
I don't know. No, I don't know. It was either supposed to be Grimsley, but he pitched, last inning here today. So apparently, I believe it'll probably be Gary Nolan.
Vida Blue for them, it looks like. What do you think about Vida?
Well, I tell you what, he's going to have his work cut out for us because these guys started swinging the bat real good. Everyone here is swinging the bat a lot better, except for myself. But these other guys are swinging the bat better, and maybe I can get some more walks.
Joe Morgan, thank you so much. Good ball game, and we'll see you in Cincinnati tomorrow.
Right. Thank you very much, Tony.
Now let's go back upstairs.
What a 9th inning that was. The top of the 9th ended on a double play throw from Matty Alou into home plate on Concepcion, and then the last of the 9th inning with a double play with Morgan throwing Odom out of the plate. And I guess they'll wonder for a long time to come here in the Coliseum about Odom going in on that pop foul. Fairly close, but he was definitely out of the plate. Oakland skipper Dick Williams looks to duplicate the last-ditch magic of the previous day with Blue Moon Odom running for Gene Tennis and Dave Duncan pitch hitting. Now Campanera steps in with only 1 out, runners on 1st and 3rd. Odom attempting to score on a short pop fly foul is out. Morgan the bench, and the game is over. On the replay, Blue Moon Odom comments.
I think it was a good gamble because Morgan was going back and he was playing the ball off banners, and plus the turf was wet. And I gave it a try, and I thought I was in, but actually I was out. The umpire said that it was a close play. It was a good gamble.
But Johnny Bench had the plate blocked. Odom loses his gamble, and it's back to Cincinnati for Game 6. Ever mindful that they've lost 7 straight home games in World Series play, the Reds are still very happy indeed to make that long trip back home. And speaking of traveling, Oakland manager Dick Williams gets around pretty well himself. Vida Blue gets a start after 3 relief outings, and the game remains scoreless into the 4th inning. Gary Nolan calls on Pete Rose and Bobby Tolan to protect his 1-run margin in the 5th. But this shot by Dick Green is off the wall, and Sal Bando streaks home with a tying run. Al McRae faces Blue in the Reds' 5th. McRae takes third on an infield out, and Dave Concepcion delivers the tiebreaker. With 2 down in the Cincinnati sixth, Bobby Tolan sends Vida Blue to the showers. Bob Locker comes on to try and keep it close. Tolan pays heed to the scoreboard's appeal, and now let's follow the bouncing ball. Following a walk to bench, the series leading hitter Tony Perez comes through again. Pedro Bourbon works on Angel Manuel in the top of the seventh.
Hell of a job, Peter. But he's going to have to bring his other catcher, Duncan, in here.
Sparky Anderson has specific instructions for bench and new relief man Tom Hall.
Only reason Mitch has got him over there is a good low ball hitter. I'm going to make him bring up that other catcher, Duncan. Duncan is a fastball hitter. Low fastball. Tommy, you know Duncan. Low fastball hitter. Right?
Hall follows Sparky's advice and fans Duncan with a high fastball. The Reds return to the running game in the home seventh. This time it's Dave Concepcion with a theft. Pete Rose receives an intentional walk, and with 2 out, it's up to Joe Morgan. Dave Hamilton is finding that 3rd out is tough to come by, with Bobby Tolan up now. Here's Joe Horland looking for that elusive inning-ending out. But Cesar Geronimo knocks in 2 more runs, and the big red machine finally explodes with a resounding 8-1 victory. It's the first time a 1972 World Series game has not been decided by a 1-run margin. And the scene is set now for a 7th game showdown.
The World Series is going all the way to 7 games. Cincinnati's big red machine evened it up at 3-3 today by defeating the Oakland Athletics 8-1. And tomorrow will decide the championship. ABC's Dwayne Dow narrates highlights from today's game.
Vida Blue, in a starting role for the Oakland Athletics, pitches to Johnny Bench in the 4th inning. Bench connects and gives it a mighty ride into the upper deck, his first homer and first run batted in the World Series. Oakland battles back in the 5th inning against Gary Nolan. Dick Green rips one, and it goes up against the right field wall, sending Sal Bando across home plate, tying the game at 1-1. But by the 6th inning, the Reds are back to a 1-run lead. Bobby Tolan off for 3rd. Base hit for Tony Perez. Off relief pitcher Bob Locker. Tolan scores, giving Cincy a 3-1 lead as the Reds' bats finally are alive. In the 7th inning with 2 men on, Joe Morgan drives a hit off Oakland's 3rd pitcher, Dave Hamilton. Dave Concepcion comes around to score, and Pete Rose goes head first into 3rd. 52,000 Reds fans sensing the kill. Bobby Tolan singles. Rose comes in to score, followed by Morgan. The Reds rout the Athletics 8-1. Tomorrow, Game 7, winner take all. Dwayne Dow, ABC News.
Heavy skies and a light rain threaten the final game, but it doesn't dampen the enthusiasm for baseball. Riverfront Stadium is bulging at the seams with a capacity crowd that includes 5,000 standees, and the weather picture brightens by game time. The Reds' 3rd game stopper, Jack Billingham, gets the starting assignment. With one down in the A's first, Angel Manuel lines to center. Bobby Tolan misjudges the ball, and it rolls all the way to the fence. The slow motion replay shows Tolan still had a chance to make the catch, but the ball glances off the top of his glove for a 3-base error. Manuel remains on third as Billingham faces that man again, Gene Tennis, with 2 out. The ball takes a high hop, bounces off Menke's glove, and the A's grab an early 1-0 lead. The replay shows the second bounce lands squarely on a seam in the AstroTurf, causing an erratic hop, and Tennis has a run-producing single. Blue Moon Odom silences the Cincinnati bats for the first 3 innings with a new battery mate, Dave Duncan. Tennis is playing first in the revamped Oakland lineup. In the 4th, Joe Morgan walks, and Odom pays special attention to keeping him honest. The ever-daring Morgan takes off anyway, but this time Dave Duncan guns him down. In the home 5th, Tony Perez collects his 10th hit of the series. Odom exits after walking Geronimo and going 2-1 on Concepcion. Catfish Hunter completes the free walk, and the bases are now loaded for Hal McRae. Pedro Borbon takes over with the score tied at 1-1. But Campaneris greets him with a single to open the Oakland 6th. 2 outs later, Campy's on third with Gene Tennis up. Campaneris scores a tie-breaking run as Tennis pulls in a second with a double. Gene Tennis departs for pinch runner Alan Lewis, but not before he sets a new 7-game slugging mark and puts the Most Valuable Player award under lock and key.
Number 6, the third baseman, Sal Bando.
Bando's blast bounces off the fence as Tolan goes down, and the A's now have a 3-1 advantage. Bobby Tolan might have had a chance for the catch if he didn't fall. The replay clarifies the picture. As Tolan moves back in the ball, it appears he has a 50-50 chance of catching up with it. Now watch his left leg. Just as he reaches the edge of the warning track, he suddenly clutches for the back of his left leg, and it gives out on him. An untimely hamstring pull, and any chance to retire Bando goes with it. Catfish Hunter keeps the scoreboard status quo into the 8th inning. Pete Rose leads off. Enters southpaw Ken Holtzman to pitch to Joe Morgan. And again, Raleigh fingers for his 6th appearance in 7 games. And when Johnny Bench is intentionally walked, it puts the potential winning run on the base paths. A risk Dick Williams will have to live with all his life if Tony Perez comes through for Cincinnati. With Dennis Menke up, Bench breaks for second, and the A's concede the base to stop the double steal attempt that could tie it all up. Menke's short fly ends the rally. It all comes down to the bottom of the ninth in Game 7.
He's been hitting the last 3 games. 2 down. Last of the ninth, 3-2 Oakland. There's a fly ball hit in the deep left center. Joe Rudy there. Oakland has won the 1972 World Series. They have won 3 of the 4 games played in Cincinnati.
And as the final out of the 1972 World Series settles in Joe Rudy's glove, the Oakland A's are the world champions of baseball.
So pure and sweet makes my happiness come.